Hello and welcome to Let's Roll, the D6 Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Allen, and today I have with me Brian Annis, also known as Jamie Something on Threshold.
Hello, everyone. How are we today?
We also have Josh Shapiro, who
yeah.
you might know as Rasper Hawkborn.
I throw shovels.
Shovels are a thing. And we also have Rob Gilpin, the founder and big-time executive producer of all D6 things.
Dude, I like that up inflection on my name. Hey guys, what's up?
And we also have Casey Adams, right?
Yes.
Casey Adams.
Really?
And you do something.
It's
here.
related. I'm the only one with an accent.
Clarion, the bard on Threshold. How you doing, Casey?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Can we go back and redo that so I can have an up inflection on my name too?
Here, I'll do it right
Okay.
now. Where do you want the inflection?
On the "and" part of both parts of my name.
Brian Annis.
There you go. Perfect.
Brian.
You can't do an up and then an up.
Or you could just be Brianus.
Brianus.
They just fuse.
I like
into one.
Banis. We normally call you Banis.
That's
It
true.
works.
It does work.
And we have Banis.
There
Can I
we
be
go.
Cadams?
No.
Why?
Yeah, that does. Cadams doesn't work.
How about
It's not quite the same.
No. Well, then you're going to Brianus.
Okay.
What's your middle name?
James.
Jadams.
It's like J.
Jadams.
J.
It's the letter J.
Homer J is now
That
J.
technically,
Simpson.
yeah.
Casey J. Adams. Sound like a coal miner. All right. All right. Let's move on. For those of you just joining us, this is Let's Roll. This is how it works here. We have 6 topics that we bring to the show every week. We roll a d6, and we talk about the topic that has been assigned the number that we roll. What happens, though, is if we roll the same number twice, that summons a deep one, or a deep philosophical, metaphysical, or personal question that we've put into a large, terrifying, very scary bowl.
Oh, you can hear them.
Oh, yes.
They're purring.
They want out. They want to be read.
Out of the portal.
Trapped in the nether zone.
Yeah. They want out
Another
so
zone.
bad. So when those come out, we talk about those instead, and then, after a little bit, we get back to the show. With that in mind, let's start with our first roll. Casey, you want to lead us off?
Woo!
Here we go.
Look at 3.
Number 3. So that means we're talking about upcoming movies. Yes. What are you guys excited about?
As we all know, I'm a big fan of the Terminator series, Terminator franchise. Thusly, Terminator Genesis, I am all about.
Dude, it looks really cool.
Surprisingly good.
I haven't.
The
liked
last
anything
2
yet.
have been a little bit of disappointments, but
Real bad.
they're gonna bring them back home with this one. I'm a little confused with the whole timeline thing they're doing because they don't tell you very much about it.
But
so
I kind of like it though. It's like a splinter timeline, so they're going back in time and then breaking away. It's a
Right.
cool way to do a reboot.
it's like,
As you say, if you're going to do a reboot,
Yeah.
that's the way to do
Explain what's going on, because I actually haven't seen the
I don't
trailer.
know.
So from what I can remember from the trailer, so we have the events of Terminators 1 and 2, and 3.
The best
and,
Terminators.
Yeah, the best Terminator number 2. But in the Terminator Genesis, they go back in time before the events of 1
Okay.
and tell Sarah Connor, hey yo, bad guys are coming.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, hey yo. Bad guys are coming
That's how
for
we do it
you.
in 2015,
And
yeah.
then, so when the events of Terminator 1 happen, she's already kind of ready to go. And
So it's like an alternate timeline?
it's a splinter timeline.
okay.
it. She becomes a badass way sooner.
Yeah, but so basically, in the way the trailer portrays it, Kyle Reese gets sent back in time, just like Terminator 1.
Right.
He is about to try to rescue Sarah Connor, and then all of a sudden she rescues him. She's a badass. Oh shit, Terminator went even back before Terminator 1,
Right.
Terminator 0, and now she warned her basically.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a prequel sequel.
And Arnold's back.
Arnold's back.
He's
Yes.
reprising.
And there's a cool way that they explain.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously he melted.
I
in
don't
Terminator
understand
2.
the timeline.
So how it works is because the T-800s or the Arnold model is living flesh over
2000.
metal
800.
800.
Was it
1000 is
the
the
first one?
liquid.
Yeah.
800 is the endoskeleton.
liquid.
1000 is
Okay,
the
scary.
liquid metal.
I thought it was 101 or something like that.
No.
800. It's the 800.
800 is the model. The 101 is something else.
a freeway.
But anyway, so because he's living flesh over metal endoskeleton, because the one in Genesis has been around for so long, the living flesh on the endoskeleton has started to age and decay. So thusly, that's why he's.
That's why he looks old.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, I can
absolutely.
dig
I'll
it.
buy
It's only
that.
flesh.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that's a total George Lucas answer, but it works.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
It'll take all my money.
Yeah.
I'll see the movie.
Like, my bar was so low for this movie, and we saw the trailer, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the?
Yeah, I think the trailer totally sold it. Like, because even when they said that they were doing that, I was like, no, this is so dumb. I'm so done with Terminator. But yeah,
Particularly with
sold
like
it.
how they
Wow.
spelled the name Genesis with the Y instead of the I.
Yeah,
People
what
are
is
like,
that about?
We're like, I don't know. This is Genesis systems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cyberdyne
they're trying to make
systems.
it all cool and like techy.
Make it like the
and-
beginning, but also like
Yeah.
a throwback.
Yeah,
little
it's
fan
kind of a
service.
weird kind of thing.
Also, Khaleesi.
Khaleesi. Badass Khaleesi.
Yeah.
No.
Daenerys
Amelia
Targaryen.
Clark.
Amelia Clark, that's right.
Yeah,
Amelia
she's
Clark.
Sarah Connor.
She's Sarah Connor.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's her
I don't
natural
know if I
hair
did-
color.
That is
She's
her
brown.
natural-
She's a
She's a
brunette.
brunette, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's a pale brunette as opposed to the tanned
pale
blonde that we
brunette.
see on the TV.
She's not all that blonde on Thrones though.
She's white, platinum, like white hair, silver hair.
It's
Yeah, it's like
I-
silver
You,
blonde.
yeah, you would call that platinum blonde.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about like skin color. She's not tan.
Well, she's like
She's
I don't know.
fair-skinned.
She's fair skinned, but not as Daenerys Targaryen. Daenerys Targaryen is pretty tan.
Well, yeah, she started fair skin,
Yeah.
and then she
Oh, okay.
chilled in the
I
desert
guess so.
forever.
I guess so. Maybe just
She
started
cooked a little.
Yeah,
Okay.
she got a good base from
Yeah, she
the
got
red
a-
waste.
Yeah.
What are you guys excited for?
The only one that could come to mind actually for me was Pitch Perfect 2. It's
Cool.
the only thing I could think of. I haven't even seen the trailer for it. I don't even know if the storyline is like them next year.
You just
or
love the first one.
I just
I haven't
I'm
seen the
the,
first
super.
the first one's really good.
First one is surprisingly good. It's
I didn't
also-
want to watch it when I watched it, but I ended up really enjoying it.
It was one of those movies where like I was apprehensive to watch it because it was blowing up and all my friends were like, "Oh, Pitch Perfect is the greatest." And I was like,
Right.
"I'm gonna be against this because you know."
Yeah,
it's,
I'm not-
it's so
I'm not getting on that train.
I'm not getting on that train. But then I saw it on HBO one day or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay.
You know what they should?
I'll
You
get
know
on
what
this
they?
train.
I want them to release a 2-hour. So in the movie they do like this wrap off where you have to use like a specific word in a specific song title, or in a specific song, and then jump to the next one. And so they go from like, "Oh Mickey, you're so fine" to like some other 80s song, and then they do that for like they do like a whole round of that. I could watch like 30 minutes of it just like them.
So
So it's a single lyric in a song. So if it's "Oh Mickey, you're so fine," and then the next person would have to start the next song using the word "fine."
Okay.
or Mickey or something
Mickey
like that.
or
Yeah. So
something
you,
like
you
that.
take one or two word phrase from that.
From the song,
From
and
that
then,
song, and then
you
you-
take it,
you
you cut
build
it into
on it,
another
yeah.
into another song.
It's
And
kind
they
of like it's like a live human remix.
yeah.
is that the whole movie? Like,
No.
so what's the
No,
concept?
that's like just like the battle part, which is I don't
Okay.
know. Honestly, it's
So
kind
it's
of
like-
the
it's
weirdest
like-
part.
it's
It's,
like-
really entertaining, but it's like the weirdest part of the movie. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
but is it like Glee Club on the streets? Like,
no, so
underground
It's about a cappella
sing-offs?
like competitions.
Acapella, yeah, in
okay, so it's like a
college.
tournament setting
like,
where
so
they're
they go
like,
to,
in a
yeah,
competition.
competition, and they're
Okay.
trying to like win.
It's like Bring It On, only singers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But the comedy is really on
And
point.
actually funny.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's actually like really good funny parts.
And it's Anna Kendrick, right?
Anna
And-
Kendrick,
Yeah, Kendrick,
Rebel Wilson,
Rebel Wilson, who's
Anna
hilarious.
Camp,
in the
Brittany
first one.
Snow, all those people.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
So
Josh,
I'm
how are
excited
you?
about.
I want to talk about the new Jurassic Park. I think
Jurassic
yes.
World.
I think
Jurassic
Patrick here
World.
does too, right?
Yeah. I would love to
very
talk
much
it.
do.
So
Because I know
I-
Jurassic Park was one movie that really
I
affected
might
us
be
growing up.
on the other side of the Jurassic Park fence. In that,
Shut your mouth.
Are you
I think-
anti-world?
I think it's gonna be.
I might be right there
I
with
think
you.
it's gonna be total shit, man.
What?
I'm
Why?
worried.
How could you? Okay, it's fair to have
Attack
concern
Velociraptors.
after Jurassic Park 3, but
No. That's not where my concern comes from. My concern comes from the revealed early script where they had a human velociraptor crossover hybrids.
Yeah, weaponized genetic
Yeah.
monsters.
And I think that it's just gonna be so.
yeah, but that
That's
was
not
that
the
was,
plot.
that
They're
was-
gonna take the
wasn't that
easiest-
leak like almost 2 years?
no, yeah,
ago?
that's not the plot.
No, that's not the plot.
But it spurned this
if
new
that's
plot.
what kicked off this plot, or even like if that's what started to generate the capital, I think they're coming from it. They're coming from a very different direction than a how can we do justice to this franchise.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about the director. It's a really ballsy choice. It's kind of an unknown guy named Colin Trevorrow, who sounds like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
But he directed that movie Safety Not Guaranteed, which is surprisingly very
good. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I could like it's kind of dark and strange, and like I really like to see what he's gonna do. And he's a huge Jurassic Park fan.
My issue with this is if they're going with that kind of genetic kind of whatever. Like, that sounds cool, but it doesn't feel like a Jurassic Park movie to me.
Not at all.
You know?
I don't know. I mean, the movie in the book originally it was about playing with genetics, because even the dinosaurs that came about, they sort of glance over this in the film, but in the book, like, they're not exact representations of what the dinosaurs were.
Exactly, because since they use the frog DNA, they are these kind of monsters in a way. They're not exact dinosaurs.
They sort of did bring monsters back to life, and not the actual animals that they were. So, I mean, I do think it's kind of predictable in a way to just be like, we're messing with genetics and it's bad. But I don't know. I think it's going to be cool. Like, the trailer was fun. I'm super in love with Chris Pratt.
It's a good casting. He's going a different route. It's very anti-Pratt. He's kind of that, like...
Trying to be like a hard ass.
He's kind of hard-ass Pratt.
I hope he still has some one-liners.
How do we all feel about Attack Raptors?
Okay, so there was some talk about Attack Raptors. There's a shot
I
in
want
the
to talk
trailer.
about this because I don't know how this is. I think it's interpreted wrong. No matter what, somehow we're missing something for that scene. I don't necessarily think.
Well, he's definitely not
raptors.
fleeing from them, so they are somehow friendly or buddy towards him.
I think they're both fleeing from something.
Yes, but okay, so the director talked about it on Twitter because people were freaking out.
Oh, that's right. He did.
A lot of people love the idea of the Attack Raptors, and if you guys haven't seen the trailer, which you should just go watch it, but it's Chris Pratt on a motorcycle driving really fast, and there's a pack of raptors. They come out of like a dog racing pen, and they're just running like crazy.
And it's motorcycles and raptors the whole way.
I mean, yeah. And so people were freaking out. The director was like, okay, they are not trained raptors. They're not his raptors. But he was saying that kind of like how there's a lot of like game wardens who can like snuggle up with their lions. Yeah. Like they grew up with their lion or the tiger. They have this bond with them kind of a thing. It's going to be sort of like that.
It's still Attack Raptors. I mean,
they are Attack Raptors.
That's Attack Raptors.
But no. They're not trained.
Yeah.
Raptors
they're
like
not gonna
police
jump through,
dogs.
They're not going to jump through a flaming hoop or anything, but they're still like buddy. I mean,
they're just not.
I bet even a lion tamer couldn't like send. I don't know. It just looked like
he's not sending them anywhere. If you caged up lions and then opened them up in a kennel and drove a motorcycle around, they'd probably do a little running.
Yeah, they're kind of like following him. They're like dogs, and his hounds. But
any way you cut it, that jib sounds. It smells like
the whole. To me, like it feels like
but
when
if you go from Jurassic Park 3, the raptors
I blotted that out of my mind, so I don't.
But the raptors by the end of that film, they were getting really intelligent, and a lot of people hate that movie, and for some good reasons. But it's still not the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But the raptors were getting more intelligent, and I could see them being maybe not trainable, but
they're kind of like
not
dolphins.
Quite domesticated. But like
killer dolphins, basically.
Yeah, killer dolphins. Exactly. That's what they can be.
Dolphins.
And if you don't think that's scary, there's something wrong with your brain.
Dolphins are smart as hell.
Yeah.
They're the most intelligent beings on this planet.
Well, I mean,
so long and thanks for all the fish.
Here, so
I think my complaint with Jurassic Park, the new one, and I haven't, without it being out, we can only
we can only
just this version of what they chose to show us.
But it's not the genetic angle. I totally agree that Jurassic Park has always been, like at its core has been, we're messing with something we don't fully understand.
Right.
Right. And so I think it's more how tastefully you go about doing that, and how do you really need like an over the top, enemy and main bad guy to be afraid of?
It seemed like one-upmanship to me, because it was like, okay, guys, we've done this dinosaur, we've done these dinosaurs. What can we do to make the sequel bigger and better? Well, let's put dinosaurs together. Let's just combine a raptor and a T-Rex, which is kind of what it seems like they've done.
That's sort of how I'm interpreting
that bigger and better arms race. It relies on. Well, it's kind of getting around telling a better story. I think the strength of Jurassic Park is the character development. You have, especially the original. That's definitely my favorite. The first one is you have strong character development. Of course, it's like the mystery of it's the first time you've seen this universe. That's very exciting. And I think there's got to be a way to approach it again. And I love their park world, or Disney World.
It's very Disneyland feeling. Yeah.
I think there's so much they could do with that and take that angle and do it tastefully. And I really hope that is the case. But just judging from what I've seen, I'm ready for them to jump the shark.
Ooh,
It seems like
literally jump the shark.
They kind of do that in the trailer. You have that big thing jump up and eat a shark.
Yeah.
So you jump up to the shark, and so I do. Part of me is like, yeah, some of this seems like a little much. Like they really are going too big with it all.
I was hoping for a little bit of a more tasteful, subdued trailer for the first trailer. They really just kind of showed a lot. But my favorite thing about the trailer was that they do the piano of the original theme song slowly. It's super slowly somber. It was a really cool subtle touch.
I love their website.
The website is awesome.
I think that is great.
It's like a park you can explore around.
Yeah, if you haven't gone to it, check out their website for, was it called Jurassic World?
Yeah, Jurassic World.
It's done up like a nice Disneyland park website as if it was real, and I think that was really.
So here's a big thing to talk about though, and this is my biggest problem with the whole film: is there are no animatronic physical dinosaurs whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's a problem as well. Because it was the Stan Winston
Studios
that did those animatronics,
and that was the magic of Jurassic Park.
That movie.
And it was the perfect blending of animatronic close-ups with wide CG as well. And so, that was the first time that had really been done like crazy. The wide shots were always complete CG, but then you saw that perfect close-up foot come down and into the mud, or that kind of thing. You could touch everything. It felt very real.
Yeah, like that T-Rex was real. That they was standing there in the rain. Like that thing was real.
Absolutely, it was scary as hell.
It still looks so good. It still looks so
just getting rained on with his nose breathing into the windshield. So like, I don't feel like we're gonna feel that in this with the CG dinosaur.
I agree, because I think part of the problem, I think, is that both The Lost World and then Jurassic Park 3 is they tried to recapture the same moments that happened in the first Jurassic Park, and it felt like they were just sort of like filtering and reiterating the same
message, through line.
The same moments. There's like you have the T-Rex pushing on the glass while they're trapped, and you have raptors breathing hot air on the window to give that like snorty, scare. Yeah, like, and I hope that some of that's there in this movie as like fan service, but I also hope they find something new to do with the formula, because I really want to see the Jurassic franchise continue. I don't want to see this die out. I do not want to see it go extinct.
Ooh. And on that
and just there aren't enough dinosaurs, man.
I think on that pun, we
can switch movies, or re-roll.
What else?
Do we have any more movies?
We can talk about Star Wars, but I don't know. Everyone's talking about Star Wars.
Everyone's talking about Star Wars.
Tri-sabers, they're awesome.
Well, I want to know real quick just what everybody thinks of the Star Wars trailer so far. Like, what are your anticipations?
I think
the George Lucas cut is definitely the best version.
Oh, it's a pretty good cut.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I thought it was the most refreshing. I guess given my expectations were so low.
Yeah.
That it was so refreshing to see. Kind of like a tastefully restyled, like retroized version of what I felt was closer to the original Star Wars than the episode.
It feels like you go into a very classy kind of furniture store where that they're trying to do like vintage stuff, but it still has a modern sensibility to it. It felt like that. It felt vintage, but also very modern at the same time.
See, I don't understand why people. I don't know why we all expected so little. I mean, Disney's one of the biggest corporations, and I can't name anything the past decade that they've done wrong.
I think people are just hurt. They're still hurt from the.
That's true. That was a big mistake.
Okay, still hurt from the original trilogy, and I don't blame anybody for that.
It's been handed off to competent people.
Yeah, but it's like imagine there's a family with 3 sisters. You did one sister, and it was great, but that didn't work out because she got old. The second sister was a horrible girlfriend.
I want to see where this is going.
And so you don't want to date the third one because you're worried about the second sister, her being like the second sister.
Wait, except for the first sister
you
was
awesome. You were killing
it
with the analogies.
Except for the first sister was awesome, and then you're like, oh, but something happened, and then the second sister was
let's face it. Like all the sisters are attractive. Like
yeah, but
you like them all.
But the first 3 sisters have great personalities. and then
as
the
well.
other three just have their looks.
Like the first three sisters. The first sister, is like really exciting. She's always wanting to go out and do something fun. The second sister is really smart. The third sister,
extended metaphors.
she's really cute and
her porridge was just right.
Yeah,
I would go as far as
the fourth sister is really racist.
God damn it, sisters. I don't think the episode movies look that good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they aged incredibly fast. I think that the style they used was, I guess in some ways, and people will totally hate on this, in some ways has an Avengers look to it. Like Marvel has captured
it's very clean.
In a much better way, like that cartoonized video game-esque comic book look that I think Star Wars was kind of going for.
The prequels.
Okay.
yeah.
But again, this is George Lucas. I think he's always trying to run on the cutting edge of this kind of stuff. He's much better. I think he's more into the tech than the story.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree. I think he's always wanted to innovate,
And he's pushing these boundaries, but
Yeah.
it almost was. He kind of hit that brick wall of the boundaries where they weren't advanced enough. Like the digital cameras did not look that good
It was
then.
just kind of ahead of its time.
Now they look
doing
great.
That many, like being that visual effects heavy, and I
so
think you can even see it on interviews.
him.
Like he just seems so much more excited about
Digital.
the visual effects work.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
than the Star Wars heritage. And I think he.
Hey, I remember even as I bought the what was that first special edition where you remember when they did the re-release of the original trilogy
Right,
in
in
theaters?
97.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they released that all.
Yeah, on DVD or VHS.
I had it on
both.
VHS.
Yeah, it was the gold and black.
Yeah, the gold and
box.
black, and then I bought both sets. But I remember what was that edition called?
Special edition.
Just
Star Wars
the
special edition.
Yeah, so I remember even watching the bonus material on that. That's all he talked about was the special effects
I
and
know.
the stuff that he was so excited to add now that he had the technology.
Yeah,
to do
he's a
it.
great producer, but yeah, I mean, he kind of lost the track of that story, and he didn't direct the best two Star Wars movies in a lot of ways.
So it really is he's just he's got
Nor did he
great
write them.
ideas, but he just is not like a.
Well, I think going back on the moments, I feel that George Lucas, he tried to create those moments that came across in the first movies, and it was almost like trying to bake the same cake by using the same ingredients, but not knowing the process. It's like so
Right.
all the ingredients were there in the new movies, but they didn't.
And he's like, "Who cares? Everybody likes cake."
You got a fancy new oven.
No
you
more
know how to
analogies.
use it.
No more analogies.
And then we get Kirsten Dunst in here to say, "Let them eat cake."
Dude, we are at our analogy limit.
Right here.
Yeah, I think the analogy police will
Break down
Now
the
just
door.
hang on our
swallow busters.
door.
But anyway,
yeah,
so
our producer is telling us no more analogies.
we've talked about this
so
a
we
lot,
gotta-
though, and especially when we make our stuff. But your limitations set you free, I think, in a lot of ways. Where if you were
Yes.
limited, you were forced to think of creative, new things
Yes,
outside of the
absolutely.
box. And then now he is in this world where he has a blank check to do anything that he thinks of first, and you're doing that first thought. And he's
sucks.
surrounded by all these people who are worshiping him and just saying, yes, George, that's amazing, George. You made Star Wars, George. And you need people around you to balance you out a little bit, I think. And everyone has bad ideas, and you need those people to say, hey, dude, well, I don't know, man.
Back to what makes the new one exciting. I am both excited and maybe a little on the fence about the choice of JJ.
He's a very safe and easy choice.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I agree with. Like I don't expect something brilliant and amazing, and
Especially with his recent films.
I will say
Yeah,
I will say though that when I found out that he was doing Star Trek, the first Star Trek reboot movie, I was already kind of like, Star Trek's never been my favorite thing.
I was excited about that.
I like The Next Generation, but when I heard about him, I don't know, I was just kind of like, who is this guy? Whatever. Like, this is gonna be stupid. Trying to reboot Star Trek. Nobody likes Star Trek anymore. And then I saw that movie and I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the first Star Trek.
Yeah, the first Star Trek is so good. The second one,
I hated the second one, dude.
yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Like the Klingon scene, I was like,
Wait,
hell
what,
yeah.
What first versus second? What are we talking about?
First Star Trek is the J.J. Abrams reboot.
Star Trek,
Oh, you're talking
and
about
then
the
Star Trek
Into the Dark.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're talking about the two modern
Star
okay,
Treks.
okay,
yeah, whatever.
Second
Um,
Star Trek, man,
with-
the Klingons were
Cumberbatch.
great.
All right, as
Cumberbund,
a
downhill.
legit Trekkie,
Okay, here we go.
I fully understood that doing a Star Trek in a modern in the modern world, making a financially successful Star Trek movie,
You have to not make a Star Trek movie.
you have to not make a Star Trek movie. You have to make an action space movie.
Yeah, you have to Star Wars it up a
And
little
you
bit.
kind of do.
Yeah, you do.
Because Star Trek was
It's
never
better.
about action. It was about politics. The whole show is space politics and space morals and all that. And
Or just morals set in space.
morals, sure.
Yeah.
Morals.
But that's not really. It's not entertaining for an hour action blockbuster to have a movie that is hinging on space politics.
I mean, a true Star Trek movie would be more like A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
But in space.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's doable. I just don't think that.
It captures
I don't want to watch
audiences.
it.
I don't. Yeah, it's a more niche market than having a space blockbuster.
I also think it really suits the medium of TV better in a lot
Oh,
of
I
ways,
totally agree.
As opposed
It's
to
better as an
a feature
episodic.
film.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I
Series.
think I remember looking thinking back. JJ was an exciting choice for Star Trek, even though I fully expected a space action movie with very with actors that were very young, action, hot, blah blah blah, and that was just there's a lot of back and forth discussion in that fan community about did it do
Star Trek Justice.
to the original, and I think it the better way to put it is that it was the best way to monetize the franchise.
It made it relevant.
Yeah, it made it relevant.
Star
that
Trek was completely.
but at what cost? That's what people are saying. Is it Star Trek anymore?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, but that's the thing with Star Trek. Would just what Star Trek was, would that just work now?
Probably
think it would.
not. Do you think so?
I think as a TV show.
I think as a TV
I
show.
think as
But
a
not as a feature
sci-fi.
film.
No,
I
not
think
as
as
a
a
film.
sci-fi TV show. Yes.
Star Trek has never been
on
Okay.
Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I do not think it would be like a syndicated.
Major network.
I don't know
Major
on the
network
Sci-Fi
television
Channel. I
show.
think the closest modern Star Trek equivalent in my mind was probably Stargate SG-1. If you guys have ever seen that?
Yeah.
I think there's some Star Treks that were more modern than Stargate. What about Battlestar?
The new Battlestar. I think the new Battlestar.
it was kind of a different feel. It was
a really
there's a lot of mystery and it was very lost feeling in a way.
It was kind of lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Trek is one of the. I guess the easy way to write off Battlestar as a modern equivalent is that Star Trek is it's very utopian, and that was very dystopian.
True.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah,
but-
Star Trek kind of gives you all the answers on the table, and then Battlestar is all this under shady stuff going on behind the scenes. And,
I think. I think, even though it feels overdone, dystopian is just more interesting. Than
there's a lot more going
utopian.
on.
People they like that conflict, that underdog feeling where it's if we don't
You
do
need
this,
problems
we'll
for good
fail.
storytelling.
I was
I think that you need a mix, and Star Trek wasn't purely utopian. It was about showing a utopian society on the surface, and then episodes were digging deeper and showing
that's
issues
what I
below
like,
it.
where you get the equilibrium feel, where it's utopian because everyone's perfect, but then you realize that the system's flawed. And
I like a lot of things about Star Trek, specifically TNG, but
Yeah,
I think it would be hard to surpass that. And nowadays, with the way how high production values have gone up, you would really that would be an expensive show to run, and I just don't know if you could capture a big enough audience for it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd love to see
But
it.
that said, I think if you booted up another Star Trek TV show, I think
You'd get a lot of people.
you get a lot of viewers.
But it just I just don't know how they would do it, especially after those movies.
back
That's the
to
problem.
back to Star Wars. So JJ, we're all agreed, safe choice.
Safe and easy for sure. Solid choice.
I would rather have safe and
But
easy and
I
solid
would for the first
than
of
some
the
gamble.
is it trilogy?
Trilogy.
Yes.
And what I'm super excited about is that Ryan Johnson, director of Brick and Looper, is directing. I think is it both the next,
it's
or is it
both.
just the
It's
second?
at least the second
Yeah.
one.
Brick is
Oh.
one of my favorite
It's
movies
amazing.
of all time.
And dude, they're gonna empire the fuck out of that movie, man. It's gonna be the dark
Yes.
second act that it should be,
Yes.
and Ryan Johnson is the perfect guy to deal with.
And that means Joseph Gordon-Levitt will be
In there somewhere,
in
I'm
the-
sure.
in the next.
I'm more
Wars.
excited about.
You heard it here
episode-
first. D6 Mafia,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Breaking
JGL.
news.
JGL in the.
I'm more excited about
Episode
episode 8 than I am about 7. I'm so excited for episode 8 because it's gonna be that empire.
I hope so.
I have to. Yeah.
We should roll again.
I think we
Why don't
should.
you roll for it, or whoever's rolling
alright.
for us. Let's go.
Keep going.
Let's roll.
Let's roll 6.
Oh, we got a 6. We are talking about the Super Bowl Super Smash Super Tournament.
Oh man, the triple super
That's a lot of
amazingness
super.
that is happening. So, in case you don't know, this weekend is apparently the Super Bowl, which is a contest of American football games.
Is that a very large bowl?
Super Bowl?
It's a bowl that contains a large quantity of soup.
Yummy.
Oh,
Not
cool.
cereal? I eat cereal out of big bowls.
No, that'd be a cereal bowl.
No, some people are lactose intolerant.
Oh, is it like soup
It's a
herbal?
soup herbal.
Oh, like with an O.
It's like an herbal soup full of lavender.
Okay, enough about this. Okay, tell us about what's
We here at D6 Mafia are not we don't watch football.
We're pretty nerdy.
Pretty nerdy.
I'm gonna level with you.
Wait. Before I don't think being nerdy means you can't.
Agreed.
There's a lot of sports nerds.
But
Yeah, I do
But
do like a lot of sports. I just don't like football. I like baseball and basketball.
Our particular group of friends doesn't really care for football, nor do we prioritize watching its championship. So instead, we're having our own championship of something that we do care a lot about, which is Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
It's basically we're gonna have a regular bracketed tournament to see who amongst us is the undisputed Smash Brothers champion.
I just want to make sure before we get into this that there's a trophy for last place because I want to make sure that I can achieve that trophy.
Like a
you have
participation.
something to
Yeah,
go for.
I want the dead ass last Super Bowl. I wanted like Pikachu upside down, like dying. That's what I wanted, like a statue of that. So
Okay.
that I know that.
Sure.
So I know that I lost.
No, we have
It
two
was worthy
Wiis,
of it.
right?
To what?
Well, we have two.
Will we
Wiis,
have
but
two
we only
Wiis?
have one Wii U.
I could bring my Wii U.
No, we've got.
And I also have a copy of Super Smash Brothers.
I think
So
we could
have two TVs going.
We could have two
simultaneously.
TVs.
If we're
going.
gonna do the
Keep the bracket going.
Super Bowl Super Smash Super Tournament,
Yeah,
we might
the-
as well make it pretty.
The
super.
super tournament is that you have more than one Wii U going.
There's
Yeah,
multiple
sure.
we use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we doing like a bracket or something?
Yeah,
Because
is it
I
free
really
fall?
don't
So-
want it to be single elimination because then
No,
I'll
so
be very sad.
it's
You'll
gonna
be
be
very
double. It's
eliminated.
gonna be double elimination
Okay.
with a seeding round in the first round. So you're gonna get at least 3 matches in.
Awesome.
So the first one is depending on how many entrants we're having. The seeding round, which is going to be either like a 4 to 8 man smash, based upon your placement of there. You're gonna get. That's where you're gonna get seated.
Please
And-
no 8-mans.
Well,
I know that's so dirt.
depends on like if we have 16 people show up.
Yeah.
It makes sense to have a couple
Two
8
8-mans.
Are we items on, items off?
items off.
Good,
Items
good,
off.
good man, good man.
And no
How are
surprise
the
characters.
stages selected?
The stages are selected by selected random, as in like we'll go in the settings, we'll turn off all the stages we don't like,
Nice.
and then we'll randomize.
There's a lot we don't
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Of
there's
both
a
those
lot.
stages.
There's a lot of bad stages, but
A
we're
lot of bad stages.
and then so after the first round where we figure out our seeding, then it's going to be 1v1 until we crown a champion. And it's double elimination, so even if you lose the first round, you can still get a chance for 3rd place.
Awesome.
We need to get. Can we get like? I'll sponsor like some 2nd and 3rd place prizes. We need to get some good
Well,
prizes.
breaking
Hey, we
news.
should.
I think, in fact,
We should have buy-in.
I'll go as far as to say that there should be prizes for everyone.
Oh.
Everyone.
How about we all get ribbons
thanks.
that
You know
say
what?
you're
No,
super?
no.
Everyone-
We're not doing participation awards here, Josh.
Everyone
Hey, you
gets
showed
shit-faced
up.
that doesn't win.
That's right. We
be
are
a
not
drinking game.
millennials that believe in participation awards.
I am not that.
I was trying to figure out what generation are we? Are we Generation I?
We are Generation Y.
Are we Y?
We actually
are Y?
do fit into the
We-
millennial
Do we?
Are we
time
millennial?
frame, and it's very unfortunate. because
We're like on
just-
the cusp.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp.
Wait, I was gonna say.
And what's
'cause
before that? Y?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
why?
we're kind of half Gen Y, half millennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
We unfortunately
We're hybrids.
fit
I think because you're a year old. No, you're
Me?
saying
I'm 88,
No,
right?
90.
Yeah.
No,
You're
90 is
88?
definitely in Generation Y.
You're
That's
definitely a millennial.
No,
Okay,
I was
straight
a
up.
Y.
Sorry, dude. You can't be
Yeah,
a
no,
Y.
you're
We're not
a
Ys.
millennial.
No,
Are you
I heard
90?
Y. 90 was a Y.
No.
No,
Google
that's
that.
definitely a millennial. You're a millennial.
Definitely. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
It's been a fucking
But I
sorry.
think
I
we.
didn't exist for
Isn't
more
that
than 2 months
terrible
in
that
the
we don't want
80s.
to be branded millennials?
I know, it's like a
nobody
dirty
wants
word.
to be.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that
I think
terrible
we who
moniker.
were born in '88, Rob and Patrick and myself, are.
I was born in '87,
86.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Excuse me.
And I'm January 4th. I'm 4 days away.
so basically '87.
So I think we're Y. And that.
Yeah, not that Generation Y has a
I'm
lot going
89.
for it. I've seen a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
freaking
Generation Y doesn't have
much.
Generation
I'll probably
Y's
fit
got
in that
I
nothing
mean,
going for
we
it.
made MTV. What did you guys do? Nirvana?
Why are you saying me? No, I still think I'm Generation Y. Hey, I exist beyond.
We were around when
whatever
MTV still had music on it. What about you?
I know.
And yeah, because I existed for. Because any of you guys remember the '80s.
And how dope was VH1?
You were all like,
VH1 was really
Hey, I
cool.
watched
VH1
VH1 when I was 5.
And then it got
before
real
I went to
bad.
school.
I did like
I watched
VH1 a lot,
pop-up
actually,
videos.
yeah.
All right,
Dude,
I know
pop-up
what you
video
guys
was
do.
great.
Pop-up
VH1 was
videos?
awesome.
Okay, guys.
So
Should we roll?
Hold on. Wait, we're still talking about
Super Bowl
Smash.
Smash.
Let's return to Smash.
Smash Ball.
Okay.
What are you guys playing? What are you guys going to go in with your main? How are we doing characters? Do you have to stick to one?
That's my question,
Is it
actually.
switchable? Based on matchup? That's interesting.
I don't think it's gonna be based on matchup, but I'm gonna say like a lot of people, Josh, are like have certain characters who are better multiplayer than they are 1v1.
Could Josh just pick like down B as his character?
I'm playing down B.
Man, you give me a lot of shit. We'll see how effective down B is.
Wait. Just to make sure.
I think there's Generation I, which is like the internet
I don't think there's a
generation.
Generation I.
I swear, I thought there was.
according to Wikipedia, millennials is the term for Generation Y. They are synonymous.
That's bullshit.
That's not a credible source.
I mean, I guess
You can't-
sorry.
you can't
Yeah,
cite
anybody can edit that. Like millennials. Millennials
I
can
say-
edit that to
I'm
make
gonna say-
themselves look better.
Their agenda.
I can go on to Wikipedia
Yeah.
and say Casey's in Generation.
The millennial lobbyists are.
BusinessDictionary.com says Generation Y includes 80s and early 90s.
Whoa, early 90s. Okay, well, 1990 is technically early 90s, so.
Well, it is like the earliest
Early
90s.
90s.
Alright.
So, but
Okay.
actually, tournament. I'm thinking about having you can for the seeding rounds you can choose a character, and then for the 1v1s you can then opt to go to a different character, but you have to stay as that one character through all the 1v1s.
Okay, so you'd have a good
Okay.
free-for-all
Yeah.
character, and then you're a single character.
Myself,
Wait.
I will stay as Shulk the entire time.
Nice. And then who are you playing, Josh? What's your?
Did they make a down B amiibo?
Oh my god, it's just it's literally just a B going down.
Arrow with the beat.
Wait.
I played Pikachu as my main, I guess, and Kirby used to be my main, but now I think I'm getting a little better at Pikachu. I think
No,
for
your
the sake,
Pikachu's dirty, dude.
Yeah, Pikachu's pretty dirty.
I think for the sake, I'm better with Kirby in group fights, I think, but I'll stick with Pikachu.
For 1v1. I'm gonna be
For-
Duck Hunt Dog, but I want to know: can Duck Hunt Dogs can win the tournament?
I think so.
Like the can
As a
wins.
character?
Yeah, because the can is a character.
So,
The
same
can,
for
sure.
the-
I mean, if you don't want to take ownership of that and not have the belt,
I don't
that's
really.
fine.
To me, like I play as the can.
the belt.
The dog is like
I think
secondary.
Brian just revealed our
Oh wait, prize?
our prize.
Yes, breaking news. I am in works to develop a Super Smash Bros. Championship belt.
Oh, that's legit.
Oh, man.
That's legit.
man.
That is so cool.
To be the prize for so that way because it used to be so Kevin and myself, Kevin plays Vel, in high school we had a Smash Bros. Tournament annually, and it used to be where we have a trophy upstairs where if you win the tournament then you get the trophy for an entire year. Now I just think where it'd be better if we're gonna have tournaments on a semi-frequent basis, I think it's better if we have like a championship belt a la WWE.
Absolutely.
So that way, if you lose the tournament, the next tournament, you just hand off the belt.
Can we also have an amiibo tournament? I think that'd be pretty
Sure.
sick.
If you guys train amiibos, like we can definitely have an
I've
amiibo
got
tournament.
some. I have a Diddy Kong and a Zelda amiibo.
Okay.
I'm working on.
My Samus is dirty Samus because it's like
Nice.
all projectile and it's with like computer accuracy.
Dirty Samus is like kind of dirty
man.
Sanchez,
the dirty
Dirty
Samus,
Samus.
but with laser.
Yeah.
So what would that entail?
I don't
That's not good.
Who
Casey, who are you gonna be playing?
are you gonna
I-
lose that, Casey?
Jesus. Yeah, who am I going to lose?
As,
If I wanted to lose, I would just choose King DTD. No,
DD is legit. Don't knock DD.
he's a lot better.
Yeah.
He's improved.
he's still big and fat and slow, which is definitely not good for our meta. I think last week I proved that I at least have some Link skill, and I think I have to go old school. I've been
agree.
Link.
Dude,
the whole
OG
time.
Link is way better. And I used to main Toon Link.
Yeah,
Toon
OG
Link got
Link
nerfed
is
so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
He hits like maybe like a third of what he
And his pogo, man, I love doing the bounce pogo, but it
Yes.
just finishes the. You can't bounce pogo on Link anymore. On Toon Link.
You can do it with OG Link.
OG
you
Link.
Can.
Yeah.
I think I'll be running Sonic for the groups.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly Diddy Kong for the one-on-one. My one-on-one Diddy game.
He's supposed to be the most broken character.
is pretty good.
You
but-
got some good strat going, Pat. Like I can't peg you down as quickly as I can some other people.
Yeah, Kevin normally destroys me.
Mhm.
You do too, but I've played more with Kevin.
Yeah.
I actually managed to take him on last time we played in a group, and I was like, I don't know how that happened, but I'm proud of me.
Yeah. Might not win.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty clear we can't let Kevin win.
Yeah, I mean,
You won that.
we just.
I won that
You
game.
won that game.
I won that game with my Diddy.
And you guys were both neck and neck for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you won.
Yeah, that was
a good game.
Man.
That was a good match.
We kept like literally being within pixels.
Now
of,
I'm
like,
concerned. Now I'm concerned. Well, I think it's gonna be weird because Kevin's got to pick a character. I don't know if it'd be Greninja. I don't know if it'd
Kevin
be
most
Ike.
likely be Greninja.
He's
okay.
I think
but
he's
then,
gonna be.
but then he could just bust out.
I was gonna say we should disqualify Fire Emblem characters.
It's all
no fire.
there's no Fire Emblem characters.
See, I want to change my character because if I'm playing Kevin, I'm playing Marth, and I'm just gonna freaking counter everything.
counter
he does.
everything?
Just counter everything.
Yeah,
he
if it
does.
has a sword, can't
I mean,
play.
it's not as easy as it looks.
well,
It
that's
is hard to
that's a Xenoblade.
time those
The-
counters.
the
And Kevin's
motto-
very
the
good
Master
at
Sword.
it, so-
Master Sword counts.
Master Sword has the sword. A lot of people have swords.
No, it's a lightsaber. A
I'm
lightsaber
excited.
incarnate.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm
Yeah,
very,
it's
I'm
gonna be
looking
cool.
forward to that. We'll be sure to let you know the
think we're
progress
trying
of the
to-
tournament.
Well, we plan on streaming it.
Yeah, we want to
I think
stream
we,
it
yeah, I think we'll have it
live
pretty
on our
strong.
Twitch channel, twitch.tv/D6mafia. That's going to be this Sunday. So if you don't want to watch the Super Bowl, why don't you come hang out with us? It'll be a lot more fun.
Or just
And
simultaneously.
We'll even
Simultaneously.
we'll do some improv commercials for you or
Yeah.
something. It'll be great.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have the Super Bowl on somewhere. Like we'll put it on a laptop or something.
Yeah, mainly because
Stream
we
it
just
to
want to watch
one
Doritos
of- right,
commercials.
yeah.
but-
Pepsi.
Oh, I've already seen the BMW because I work for BMW.
Oh, they have the commercial?
They had the i3 commercial out already, and it's totally lame.
Oh,
just to
okay.
let you know,
Okay.
i3 commercial,
The Pepsi's the Pac-Man one, right?
totally lame.
Is that
The
Pepsi?
Pepsi you want? I thought it has like
No, that's the
Craig-
Budweiser.
Oh, that's
light
Budweiser.
one.
Live action Pac-Man.
The
I watched the
Craig
Action
Robinson one.
Batman.
Dude, it was in a
What?
warehouse here in LA. It's
Craig
a
Robinson
giant
Pepsi?
real
Yeah,
Pac-Man game.
they have like the.
Oh, you went Pepsi? Why did you go Pepsi?
I don't know.
Because they give them a lot of
Because
money.
polar bears have the niche on Coke, I guess.
And Santa Claus.
And
That's
Santa Claus.
true.
It's
Pretty much anything
Yeah,
Arctic.
they've got like snow and Christmas.
Yeah.
On lock.
Monopoly.
You know you gotta go when you have an entire season like Monopoly.
You know, I've never seen a Pepsi ad with Santa Claus. Does Coca-Cola actually have like?
No, but like, if they do Santa, then it's like, whoa, dude, that was Coke's thing first. Pepsi, come on, Pepsi.
Also, I think it fits the tone better with Coke because Coke's cans are red and they have a whole red theme. Whereas like
That's true.
you can't have like a very
You can't do
red
like the Pepsi green can.
or like a Pepsi blue. Like Santa Claus can't wear blue.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, I mean he can.
Then he would just be like a.
But then he'd be like a
big fat
Dude, they
pedophile.
just gotta go pro America. They got the red, white, and blue.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they really don't pimp that enough.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, they need to rebrand something.
I bet the American Sniper sips a Pepsi.
Right before he...
Right before he no scopes a guy
Right before
from
he
360
can
no
fire
scope?
his
360 no scope.
All right, so where
Oh,
are we
let's
now?
roll
Let's
again.
roll.
Yeah.
Let's roll
So,
again.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Is
we
that
rolled a
deep
6
one?
again. Okay,
Deep
so
one.
for those listening, we rolled a 6 for the second time, which means we summoned a deep one. Brian is doing the incantation as we speak.
Let's go.
Let's hear what the Great Bull wants us to answer.
Okay, this is one of mine. This is good.
All right.
Should the idea of a unified world map be considered in the future, i.e., the whole world calling Germany Deutschland?
So we're calling countries by how they call themselves?
They call themselves.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, because even Japan, right?
But do we have to change to America?
Don't they call
'Cause-
themselves something
I'm not sure, actually.
like
I'm
Nippon
going
or
with yes. I'm just gonna say outright, like
I would really like that
it's,
because
it's kind of silly that we have.
Our own name. We're like, no, we'll call you what we want to call you.
because then like every language, like you can make all those, you can say those words in all languages. You know, it's like, you can call Moscow whatever Moscow is in Russian or whatever. Like that shouldn't stop you. I think it would be better so you break that confusion.
I agree. I think it would be more unifying in a lot of ways. Because it's sort of strange. Like, who decides what?
It is kind of weird. Because you're like, hey,
We
my
do.
name's Phil. And we're like,
We
I'm going to
do.
call you Tom.
We don't know how
Is
to
that
say
cool?
that, so
So-
we're gonna call you Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna call you Yoshi because your name consists of 4 syllables.
Do you
and I
think
can't
that
pronounce
as
it.
the world becomes more globalized and combined in like one mass culture, that our language will just change to adapt to that, and we'll just adopt more and more words from other languages?
Start to form like
Absolutely.
Galactic Basic, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It's
yeah,
already.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's already in
It's already happening.
full swing.
Yeah.
Like a majority of, I don't know about the majority, but a huge chunk of the English language is just words from other languages.
Sure.
Or like Firefly style, where like 2 languages take over, and it's like you either speak Chinese
Well,
or
there's already-
English.
Yeah,
There's
but
already,
but you
like-
only speak Chinese when you're cursing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way you curse on
On
American
camera.
censors. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
like new technology, like
Sci-fi
DVD.
and their weird ways around cursing.
Like frack?
So, yeah, frack and all the weednisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the whole global language kind of morphing into more. If it's English, then it's going to be like an English that is intertwined with other languages. And
the only problem I see with it is that you will have to introduce a number of new characters to the written language. Because like Russian has all those like weird ass ends that look like or backwards R's,
really like a bell
that.
symbol,
Alphabet.
a circle.
Why could it not just be that written language is simply in its native language for whatever word you're speaking, and the scrolled out language is just a mess of combinations, just like as if we were. I think it's not like Japanese translations and stuff that have like DVD and other technologies just say DVD, like literally.
Yeah.
Like, could you not just in?
Well, I think the problem. Well, maybe it's not a problem. I just think that would take a long time
to adopt to.
Yeah, to adopt to.
Yeah,
and that
I
might
see
be
that.
okay, but I agree. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people of all walks of life learning to read like Chinese characters. At some point. That way when they look at a world map, they can look at just the Chinese characters and know what that says.
Sure.
I think this becomes an issue. I think trying to get the entire world to agree to something is like impossible.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be like a agreed upon necessarily. I think it'll just be
Can happen naturally.
slowly adopted over time, and then over
Yeah.
generations, it'll just morph into just something natural.
Well,
Or just a-
information is just spreading so fast.
Right.
Or I think we'll just start seeing a lot of multilingual culture in a lot of ways where, even, especially in America, it's pretty common to be multilingual in any other country, but
Right.
we'll start probably picking up a few extra languages, I would
Yeah.
assume.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Now here's a question though: what about slang terms for cities? Where it's like, do you want the entire world to call New Orleans Nolans? Or
Yeah.
something like
I
that?
think slang will be localized,
Okay.
except when it's not.
Yeah, I think people will always, no matter where they're from,
Like
say
Chi-Town.
Nevada. So
Nevada, Nevada, whatever.
Yeah, though.
I mean, we all got in our wagons, right? And get a bag of milk.
I guess until culture becomes
go wash your clothes.
like if it was like
Washington.
the super future where you could teleport to Paris for lunch and then go back home in Alaska and then visit your friend's house in San Francisco for an
Paris
hour.
to Alaska?
Why not?
That would never happen.
Hey, man.
Not
You
even
can teleport.
If you
if you can teleport,
to
no one's gonna build a tube.
In the super
Alaska.
future. In the super
okay.
future.
Oh, okay. My bad.
but if you can teleport out of Alaska, you're never going back to Alaska.
It's a one-way.
What if Alaska's?
Wait,
you know-
no.
some
Wait.
parts of Alaska are very
If you could
nice.
teleport anywhere, you would buy the place with the cheapest real estate because you can be anywhere else in an instant.
Sure, and Alaska's beautiful.
It is
Anyhow,
Well,
real
in the
estate
super
would
future,
cease
will it,
to
though?
in the super future.
It'll be a mega
Yeah,
city.
it wouldn't be a
All
problem.
real
It'll be the
estate
last
would be
city.
equalized
Yes.
because you can travel so fast.
Anyhow, my
It
point
wouldn't
was
matter
that
where you live.
if
Like I live on the top of the Himalayas.
if you could travel instantly and the world was doing that, then you might actually develop a global culture, a culture that is so diffused and spread out
Yes.
that slang is universal.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
language
we'll
would be
either
universal.
And
hit
language.
that point or destroy ourselves.
Yeah,
It's
agree.
one of those things will happen.
I think I would say we'd hit that point
And then we destroy ourselves.
and then the new gap in slang and culture would be another planet or colony, or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
some
we
space
would
station or something
colonize
like that.
Mars
Whatever would
Mars
take
and the moon.
time, whatever would be the culture bottleneck that would separate the two cultures would be the next big.
Josh and I were talking about Mars Civil War, which is coming.
Mars Civil War is coming.
And there's going to be Mars we're going to colonize.
It's
And
gonna be
then
called Cold War or no Red War.
Red War.
Red War.
The
It's
Red
gonna be like
War.
Red Faction. Have you guys
Yeah,
read that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best.
But so then there's going to be basically a Boston Tea Party, Space Tea Party event because we're going to tax the shit out of Mars because we need all of their
Yeah,
space
we need
resources.
Their like iron ore or something.
And then Mars is going to secede from the world government,
And they're gonna make fuck those Terrans.
and we're going to have a because they're going to
That's
adopt their
a
own culture,
revolutionary
their own
war.
cultural identity. It'll be the Red Revolution.
The Red Revolution, right?
The
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
I think there's a
The Redvolution.
I think there's an anime about that. Don't quote me. I only get my anime knowledge tangentially because I am near Kevin sometimes.
you're just absorbing it.
I get it through osmosis sometimes, but I think there's an anime about that.
Here's the question though: if there is gonna be a Tea Party scenario, what are people like launching out of their ships?
Bitcoins.
Hard drives out into space.
They found them. They're all on Mars.
Wrong.
They're all on Mars. That's why the bitcoins don't exist anymore because they were sent to Mars And
I
the
just
guy
love
who's
the
leading
idea
the
of like
march.
people like these ships like this barricade floating outside of Mars and they're just jettisoning all of their stuff.
You know, they'd be
just like we protest.
they'd be jettisoning Earth culture, anything that symbolized Earth culture. I mean, tea. It
They
wasn't
could
about
not-
the tea. It was about
but they would be humans. They would still have plenty of Earth culture left over. Like,
But
they
eventually,
wouldn't
I
be able
think
to just,
they would
eventually
adopt their
they'd
own
be
cultural
developing their own
identity.
culture.
Their own cultural identity. They would identify as Martians.
Okay, this is way beyond. Like,
it might not be though.
And you have
It
this
might not
gap
be
of
that.
space. Like it's a long trip to Mars. Like
Yeah.
say like at best maybe it's a 3-month
but
trip
how,
by
like,
then.
how much would people honestly change? Like imagine we were just placed on Mars and we
I guess-
decided to secede.
Wait,
How-
no, they
how many
become
things-
irradiated.
It would
How-
take time. It would take
How many
time.
cultural things would we change when we create our own society?
But I mean, think about basically the new Atlantic Ocean is the gap between Earth and Mars, and their new colony, they're going to have their own identity, just like we had our own identity.
yeah, you'd have the England
with separation.
United States
I mean,
situation,
to go back
but
to
I
the-
mean, England and the United States, even like 100 years after the Revolution, weren't that different, you know.
But they identified with
yeah.
different values and culture. And
Absolutely.
culturally, they were trying to. I think
Right.
they started
But
to try
if-
to separate
But if
themselves.
the like United States like jettisoned English culture, they would be.
Dude,
they'd hardly have.
Speaking of, this is the coolest thing that I heard is that basically, so the original British accent is the American accent, which is the coolest thing. The British talked like us pre-Revolutionary War. It was after the Revolutionary War that they adopted their own British accent. Isn't that cool?
Interesting.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And part of
You
the
know-
southern accent
yeah,
is,
you know, it's
is
interesting.
English because the South looked for English help during the Civil War, and so they got so close that they had the
Yeah.
same like weird accent. So,
Yeah.
like
So
the southern
we
drawl.
are closer to
is
the
English.
pre-revolutionary accent of the British than the British are themselves.
Well, and in the Elizabethan times in England, like this is when Shakespeare was at the peak, like top of his game. The accent or dialect that you'd be hearing is closer to American Southern.
Right.
It sounds like near like Bayou.
Like Foghorn Leghorn.
Not quite that.
I said
I
to
see
be
yours.
to not to be.
How's it with Foghorn Leghorn doing like Hamlet? I would love it.
That would be fantastic.
Yep. We need
It's probably a
back.
Looney Tune already.
Yep.
Let's move
All
on.
right. And we go for the next one. It's not a 6.
Deep one. Reroll.
No, reroll. There we go. 3. Another
deep one.
I
Oh.
guess. Wow, I can
Hey,
only roll
let's
2
do it.
numbers
All
tonight.
right, let's
do
do
it.
it. Let's do it. Here it is.
I hope it's mine.
Here we go.
Okay. What are your top 3 forms of time travel?
You talking about like
I love this
Forms.
time. bro.
like okay forms meaning
What is
like different ideas
like methods of time travel.
All right.
like from pop culture.
Your 3 favorite pop culture time machines.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll start.
Or we should go around this way.
Number 1, I think, is the classic like spaceship into like a wormhole type situation.
Sure.
Number 2, DeLorean,
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Future style, and number 3, I like the Wayback Machine from
Peabody and Sherman.
yes.
That's pretty cool.
How
from
does
that cartoon.
the Wayback Machine work?
It's a big room or something.
Isn't it like it's
It's
a big lever in a room.
Yeah.
I guess like
You walk
what
into
are
it,
the,
it's like a
what is the
box.
question asking like the different methods of traveling back through time?
Yeah, are we talking
like
like are we
different,
talking like actual
The apparatus.
I'm
I
talking,
think
I
that's
don't
what we're
even
talking
know
about.
if we
Apparatus.
did- like, if
I
we're
think,
talking about the
I think we're
actual-
talking about like the
Apparatus.
vehicles and or tools that one uses to go back in time.
Oh, okay.
Because other than that,
okay.
I don't know 3 different ways to travel in time.
Yeah, there's only like a
you
couple
go
different
you go
versions.
backwards, you go forward.
We were talking
Well,
about
there's a couple different
an
ways.
interesting method of traveling back in time, and that's if you assume the theory of infinite universes and all that, you could sidestep to a universe that was a most similar universe, with the exception of it being delayed by a certain number of years. So say the creation of that universe, the creation of life took a couple more years, and that was how you sidestep through time. And so you weren't actually
Going
back
back.
in time.
You're
You were
going
just
sideways.
going sideways in
You're, like, shifting-
in universes.
A galactic interdimensional transmission. You're
It was just
shifting
yeah.
gears.
You were
I guess that would be one way that you could actually travel in time and then return without screwing up.
well.
the
It was
timeline.
beating around the whole paradox idea.
Yeah.
And according to
and
like,
I think that totally sidesteps the paradox.
and like
The
according to like
grandfather-
relativistic physics,
Right.
like I don't know, most astrophysicists today say that you cannot go back in time. It's impossible.
Right.
That it's only possible to go forwards in time, and that's pretty
We're time
widely
traveling
accepted.
right now.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Right. So I guess methods of time travel. There's. I
Apparatus.
guess I would say DeLorean is.
High up there.
It fits into the instantaneous category, where it doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't have to
Well,
wrap around the world.
has to get to
Has to
88.
get to 88 for something, for some reason.
It's for the flux capacitor.
It's for the flux capacitor.
And
But
you can travel through time and space
guy's
with
a
a DeLorean.
doctor.
right,
It's a flying
right.
car.
It can travel through space because it has to be able to calculate where the Earth will be and the universe.
Well, I mean,
It has
It's
to
calculating.
You,
It's
you
not-
have to think fourth dimensionally. It doesn't really travel through space because whenever you go back in time in the DeLorean, you're still there
Yes.
when like 50 years ago.
But what
30
Josh
years
is saying is that technically the sun and the entire solar system is traveling around the
Can you
galaxy
go back to
Okay,
a point
sure.
and
Can
moving.
you go,
So technically,
go back
if you
to a
stay on that
point
same
in time
point,
where the Earth would be like?
so you'd have to make that
I think
calculation to
I
be
think
where
it
the Earth
knows-
would be.
It knows where.
It just
like,
knows. It knows.
It just knows.
It has a flux capacitor.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
knows.
just
It knows
leave it alone.
about
Pseudoscience.
galactic shift. It knows everything.
That's the power of love.
It's the power of flux.
So there's instantaneous. There's Superman and Star Trek 4 style.
Oh, yeah, go
where
around their
No,
They
world.
go around the world.
that is not. That doesn't.
Oh,
work.
a DeLorean is cool, but
it's not an interesting way at all.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of. bullshit.
That would not work. It doesn't make any sense.
Because that doesn't
Superman's
do
dumb.
anything with,
Sorry,
with
Casey.
quantum anything. It's like
Damn it!
You reverse
If I
the,
move
the
fast
spin
enough.
of the Earth, you're gonna like cause a horrible ice age or something.
no, well, technically you'd kill every single person on the planet.
exactly.
Do you?
Yeah,
By
'cause,
slowing them down.
like if the Earth
And
stopped
you'd also
spinning,
make a
everyone would
really
just die.
boring movie.
You know, for a moment
The
though,
momentum would be too.
for a moment, people
Yeah.
would
But it-
enjoy 30-hour days and will sleep in every day.
What if you're slowing down
You
the
slow down the
rotation?
rotation of the planet.
Oh my god!
I
Did
mean,
he
that's
actually
all we want,
reverse the
right?
rotation?
Yeah, that's,
yeah,
how,
everyone
that's,
would
that's
die.
how it went
He
back in
killed
time.
everyone,
And yeah,
which is bullshit. I mean, it's possible to do that technically, but everyone would die,
I like Superman
Oh,
fine.
actually, I'm
but,
not even sure of the physics.
and you
of
wouldn't
that.
go back in time. You would just spin a
Yeah, you
planet
just spin it
around.
backwards. Then
How
not
is
change
he?
the climate.
How is the planet spinning any faster? He's just going around the planet.
Well, yeah, exactly. I
Casey,
don't know.
you're the resident Superman expert.
Oh,
Why
here
don't
we
you
go.
field this
Okay,
How
case?
does that
explain
garbage work?
No bias.
Repeat the question.
So how is it
how
physically
how
possible
does
for him to turn
Superman
time backwards?
Flying around that planet really fast, make
Time
the
go backwards.
change.
Because you
Wouldn't
travel.
he just be going really fast, and someone would just be like?
So I guess
"Whoa,
it's like the
whoa,
momentum is
whoa."
somehow like
yeah, his
grabbing the
momentum
air
and
to grab
gravity
the
is-
Earth.
Yeah.
So then
The
How is,
drag.
he doesn't have the. He doesn't have the gravitational pull.
He has the
to
speed to
move
do
it,
it though.
right? What speed did what? He's
He
just,
can travel faster than light.
yeah, which is crazy.
I think
It's
like maybe he
ridiculous.
like
Yeah, he can travel faster than light.
Actually,
I've never seen him travel fast.
I don't
can
know
travel
about
faster than light.
Because that we looked that up
Flash
because
is faster
Flash,
than him.
he is, and he can travel pretty much faster than light as well.
Yeah,
even
No,
more
I
faster.
thought
If he
that-
traveled faster than light, then there would be a really boring comic book. You'd never see it.
Well, you can't see the Flash.
I thought the Flash. I thought that's what the Speed Force was. Is when Flash reached the point of traveling faster than light. That's when he like broke through the dimensional gate into the
It's
Speed
like
Force.
the light barrier.
Yeah.
Is there a light barrier?
Okay,
Is
but
that
okay,
some
Is
say
there very light?
say
Maybe
Superman
run
even
fast
does
enough to
have the
turn
force. He's moving. He's rotating the planet as he flies somehow.
Yes.
Like
How
the
does
friction of
spinning
air.
the planet faster make time change?
Well, he's spinning it backwards. Is the whole idea, like against
yeah,
its
but how does that
rotation.
change?
It wouldn't be
Because if you
shifting.
walk-
It doesn't. That's,
Wait,
that's
wait,
why.
that's the whole-
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it would
like it's
move
like
it would
hey,
move the planet's position. But
Yeah.
people
Pat,
would
give me
be
your
all
watch.
around
I'm going
there.
to set
They
it
would all
backwards,
die.
and now I've changed time for you. That's the.
So all he
that's-
did, but yeah, but what he does it to actually undo events, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like
So it
like
wouldn't
Lois
do
Lane's
that.
car like comes out of.
You
a
could make
chasm.
days shorter or faster, but like you
Absolutely.
wouldn't like actually
No.
undo events.
It's
Yeah.
as simple
No.
as this.
No.
When you go forward in time and you're walking forward. When you go backwards in time, you're walking backwards. That's how it works.
Wait, what? No.
It's magic.
Totally.
No.
Magic.
Magic.
It's like when we have daylight savings.
All right, I'm getting. I want to.
All right, there's more travel stuff here.
Yeah, I want to pick my vehiculars for.
Okay.
time
All right,
transportation.
go.
Here, do this.
My first one, well, not in any particular order. I like the time machine.
Yeah, the
Okay,
lever.
we're
Gotta
talking-
love a good lever.
Yeah, H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
I like the pic. The one I'm picturing is the Guy Pearce movie.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
like
that's a
that
good
one. I like timelines. Michael Crichton's timelines, Paul
Also
Walker
cool.
movie. I like the whole mirrors and a bunch of data computers, and it's just really teleporting, but they teleport them
To another time.
to another time.
Nice.
I really like that feel. And then I can't think of a third one, so default to DeLorean.
Nice. Okay, here's one we haven't talked
Not a bad
about,
choice.
which it's kind of a I don't know. Say what you will about the movie, but I actually really like the way they handle time travel. Is Primer, And Primer is this indie film.
I didn't know why I didn't freaking think
So
of that.
Primer, the way that they do it, it's pretty rad. But they're all these scientists, and they all live together as roommates, and so they're doing something with magnets, and they end up making this like weird field, and all this mold grows on the magnet, and so they are like, "What the hell is this?" They take it to their science, their buddy who knows about biology and botany. He looks at the mold and he's like, this mold is 50. It takes 50 years for this level of growth to grow or whatever. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, and then they're like, what the hell? So they figure out that they've made this some kind of a field that affects time with magnets. I think I forget the exact like setup, but it's a very like lo-fi nuts and bolts kind of like how would you go to Home Depot and build a time machine, which is really fun and interesting. And my favorite part about it is that when they build their time machine in this storage unit kind of a thing, like to hide it. And so they go inside the storage unit, lock it, and it's kind of like this weird like tent that they get in, and they release this gas, and like the field goes over them. They wake up, and then it shows the physical effects of time travel, and so they're like throwing up. It affects their body in very negative ways, which I think is cool. Like I don't know, in all the different like cultures, it's just like, bam, I time traveled, sweet. But this is just like, it's, they show it as being very hard on your body,
right? And
you're puking, and like you've gone through this extreme physical event. Essentially, it's like really fucking with your cells or whatever, which I think is really rad. Anyway, it's a cool idea. Also, I can't believe you guys haven't said it yet, but Terminator.
I was going to say that's mine.
Okay.
That's one of mine.
You go through naked.
That's called a time displacement sphere.
But what's happening there?
They're opening up a
wormhole, basically.
But they land exactly where they were in the like they maintain their position on the Earth.
You're
right?
only traveling through time, not space.
You're not traveling
and you
through
can't
space.
take your clothes with you.
Yeah, you can't have any non-organic materials.
But if you wrap it in organic material,
correct.
Which is why we're talking about flesh-covered guns.
Yeah, flesh-covered guns,
laser guns,
and flesh-covered tanks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's happening.
Yeah, you could take anything.
You just described my nightmares.
Okay, so is that a one-way trip in Terminator?
It is a one-way trip.
It's
Yes,
a one-way trip.
Okay. Which I think is a cool idea. I like it a lot.
Deja vu.
I haven't seen it.
You can't send electrical. So the way Deja Vu worked, the Denzel Washington movie.
Only your clothes go through.
No. Only your clothes.
Only Denzel Washington goes through.
No. You can't send like the way you time travel. You can't send electrical matter through. So he has to be dead, and then they write on his chest, "Resuscitate me." So they have to freaking zap him back to life.
So they send him to a hospital.
Yeah, they sent him through to a hospital.
That's a pretty
wrote
cool
on his
idea.
chest, "Resuscitate me." So only
physical,
not non-organic, but
like
non-electrical things can be sent.
That's a really cool idea, actually.
That'd be an interesting way to
cool.
like in a mass casualty situation to start dumping bodies. You're just like throwing them back in
like
time.
Looper.
Yeah, I think Looper was gonna be our third one. Looper is really fun.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
I do like Looper a lot.
I like subtle time travel too, where you just
where
like
it's just
appear
like-
somewhere.
it's
It's
just
not like you're not like some big light show and crazy
Yeah, it's
circus.
like,
Have
Yeah.
any of you seen the movie Predestination this year?
No, we were talking about. Is it Nick Cage?
No.
Is that Nick Cage?
No, it's
What
some indie movie.
Premonition.
Yeah,
Premonition.
or numbers.
So
Next.
Next.
Oh, okay. Watch Predestination. They have without spoiling it. It's a man who they've engineered a single person to be paradox free, and they exploit him for time travel.
Interesting. Whoa.
Cool movie.
My three are as the aforementioned DeLorean, Time, Space, and Sphere. But my number three is Phone Booth.
Wait, is there time travel in phone booth?
A la Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, okay. At first I thought you were talking about the movie. What was it called? Phone Booth?
The Phone Booth was
Yeah, I was like,
with Kiefer Sutherland
yeah, I was like,
and
what?
Colin
Yeah. I was like, time travel? Okay.
No.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I love
That's
Bill
awesome.
and Ted.
and
That
or Hot Tub. And
Hot Tub Time Machine.
I saw a billboard for the second
Hot Tub Time Machine?
I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know that
I didn't
was
know
coming
that.
out.
And we're only
This
we're
year's
only
time.
doing time travel, not like time sight, because I definitely would say paycheck for being able to look on a.
No, not time.
Okay, no,
full
not
full
time.
body,
Yeah.
full body
Okay, just making sure.
transfer.
All right.
I loved Back to the Future, man.
Yeah.
I would buy a DeLorean and drive it every
want
day.
to buy
It's
it.
pretty
I
classic.
would
The problem
daily
with buying
drive a
DeLoreans
DeLorean.
because they don't make them anymore. The parts for them are like they're a commodity. They're rare. So if you're
There is a company though in Texas. Because I've been doing research.
In Texas.
There's a company in Texas, and they
Bring it back.
produce and find parts. Like their whole like business is based around making sure DeLoreans continue to survive. So it's like there are places where it's not unreasonable to get the parts for them, but the problem is by finding they even build brand new
DeLoreans. They purchase the entire supply of original DeLorean warehouse.
Now the new DeLoreans they're building, they're not building like actual brand new cars. What they're doing is they're sort of building like these Frankenstein's monster version of DeLoreans. So you can buy like a sort of new DeLorean, but if you do happen to find like a good deal on an old one, these guys can like hook you up with all the parts and maintenance that you need. And from what I've read, that's not super unreasonable if you're passionate about it. But I would love to have a DeLorean just to like cruise around and blast like
Huey
Lewis.
That's the only soundtrack you're allowed to play while driving on DeLorean.
Just like roll up to people
happy.
with the doors and like
gotta go back in time.
interesting tidbit I heard the other day. So a lot of people think with the gull wing doors on the DeLorean that you need like a lot of clearance
For parking?
to open those up. You actually only need a foot.
Oh, wow.
really?
That's
You
pretty
need a foot
legit.
of space on each side.
That's a
to
cool
open.
cool
Because it's mostly up and not out.
So you can park it.
So yeah, you can
In a
park
tight
it.
spot.
You can park it anywhere you could park a normal car. Or better, honestly.
Yeah, because it goes. You don't.
There's
have
no-
a lot
yeah.
more.
Yeah, but
clearance.
so many people make jokes about like, well, you just like we go right into a car and it's.
Well,
not
you'd have the
fixed.
same clearance problem with a regular door that goes out.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Probably
if you've
more,
got
yeah.
a foot, you can open that thing all the way.
The new Tesla uses gullwing doors.
Cool.
New Tesla X, I think.
I think it's so funny that if Robert Zemeckis had chosen a different car, like that whole franchise would just be totally different and boring.
Yeah, originally it was not originally. The one in the DeLorean producers tried to force Ford Mustang.
Really?
on them.
Oh, the boxy
It
one.
would have been just too vanilla and weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Doc Brown would never.
Yeah, and that's what he
Mustang.
said. He's like Doc Brown would never drive a Mustang.
Never.
And thus the DeLorean.
Was
Like, he'd drive an El
became-
Camino. Like an El Camino would be a better car.
it'd be a better time machine.
Agreed. Plus, you'd have extra room for flex capacitors.
The second one, nobody's mentioned it. The Doctor.
Yeah.
TARDIS?
Doctor
I was
Who?
thinking about
TARDIS.
TARDIS. I think TARDIS is too easy. In
Police box.
Police box. Yeah.
It's in the instantaneous category, but can also go through space and time. But I think like what I like about it is that it's goofy. It goes for the campy angle, which I think you can. It doesn't have to explain itself because it can just be silly.
Yeah, it's kind of a big hand
Oh,
wave.
yeah.
I'd rather time travel be like that.
Yeah,
It gets too.
like
Oh,
it doesn't try to explain
All
itself.
of
Does
it-
the-
I've seen enough episodes of Doctor Who where I know that enough shit goes wrong on the TARDIS that I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff.
It has its own
It
personality.
has no
Kind of.
personality. That's like a soul or
Does
something like that.
There's
Like,
it's got some
Does the
cool
Stargate
stuff.
count?
No, Stargate is just teleportation.
Yeah.
No, Starbait. They
They,
did go back
do
in time.
they do time
When?
travel in
In
Stargate.
SG-1?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I think
So
like
I'm like,
something
does a
goofy
portal
with
count?
The
Stargate.
same dimension?
Oh, you know what? I think what happened was like
Is it the same universe, same
It's the
dimension?
same. Yeah, they go back to the 1960s, like hippie times,
What?
for an episode, and it's something like
Oh,
they
the.
save some
Ooh.
whales.
They said
like,
something like the
Ooh.
Stargates the Stargate they were trying to attach to was like near a black hole, and so some physics stuff happened, and then they came.
Physics
Oh,
stuff.
that's
Insert,
physics.
insert
Yeah.
physics stuff into the
Physics
black
stuff
hole.
happened, and they got shot
Red
back to
matter
the
and
original
things.
time gate
Yeah.
or Stargate,
But in
but
another time.
in another time.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Also, does quantum leap count?
I think
Yes!
Yeah,
Yes, it
absolutely.
does.
Except for you
that's
can
got
never
that
inhabit
guy.
your own
I didn't
body.
even
Yeah.
think of that. That's probably my favorite. I love that show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Very good.
Like
wish
you
I
don't
could
need
quantum
anything. There's
leap.
no device. There's no vehicular.
You
You just happen to be in the same place at the same time in the same position as someone you transfer into their
Now,
body.
is that
Yeah.
your consciousness
Yes.
is transferring?
Yes.
Yes.
Just your
So
consciousness?
So
So
if
your
you-
soul, essentially.
Your
Yeah,
soul
you
transfers.
look like you're in the body of someone else. This is your consciousness and your soul is in
Right.
that person.
And it overrides their
That would be
soul.
fun.
Yeah. I don't know where their soul goes or if you're just
Yeah.
pushing that
Did
soul
he
down.
ever? Did he ever become a woman?
Let's go back to that.
Yeah,
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
Like a ton of episodes.
It became a black woman.
I'd be worried about jumping into someone undesirable, like a meth head or something like that.
Well,
Like,
there was one where he became like he was like retarded.
sure.
Like that's actually like
handicapped.
quote unquote they use that word in the show.
Whoa, that's edgy.
Well,
But-
it was
Whoa.
like the 80s or
Yeah.
whatever.
It was the 80s.
Before, yeah.
But there were a lot of episodes where I mean that was
would
like
be so
that was
interesting.
in the 80s where like a lot of shows were about like
Well, that's when all the
morals
superheroes got
and,
drafted
like,
into the
gray
super-
area.
Right, so they didn't have the money to do like big flashy special effects,
Yeah.
so they actually had to rely
TV was
on
stupid.
real writing.
good real
Yeah.
real writing.
Sort of like Next Great American Hero. There's some pretty bad stuff. Like,
This is the
But
dark-
he was,
the
believe
dark
it or
horse
not,
lady.
Pat, he was walking on air. Okay, so
believe it or not.
And on that
More
note,
people remember that song
Than the
they
show itself.
remember
The
that,
show,
that
yeah.
horrible show. All right, on
let's
that
roll.
note, let's roll.
hoping for a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Dang it! I
Go
swear
ahead.
I can only roll one.
All right, we got another
Yeah,
one.
that's what
So
I
we're
wanted to
talking
roll.
Yes.
Gen Con and a road trip.
Oh boy.
D6 road
Okay,
trip.
so as I don't know, I'm sure you guys know, Gen Con is the largest board game convention in the United States. I believe that Spiel is the largest in the world, which is in Germany.
Right.
But Gen Con started, it was created by Gary Gygax, I believe,
He was
creator
the-
of Dungeons and Dragons.
praise be
And
unto him.
With Chainmail.
and they I think it was named Gen Con because it was in Lake Geneva, was the city that they had the initial one. It was very small. It was in like this hotel convention, room basically. I think it was, a couple people, 12 people or
Small
something like that.
ballroom.
Exactly.
Table of donuts.
And they just had it every, that was what, in the 70s, 80s. And then they
Yeah.
just kept doing it every single year. It got bigger, it got bigger, it got bigger. And then I think one
Until
of
D6
the...
came along and we revolutionized it.
Yeah. But, so yeah,
That's
we
our
went for the very
most
first time
subscribers.
2 years ago. So this upcoming Gen Con will be my third Gen Con. And yeah, I kept hearing about it in all of the board game culture, and I was just like, man, let's just go. And we went, checked it out, and I gotta say, we're hardcore Comic-Con veterans, but Gen Con is such a different con.
Well, it's on the other side of the country, really.
Yeah, it's in Indianapolis, and so yeah, it's a big trip for us. Like Comic-Con is easy to go to in San Diego; it's just an hour drive
Right.
south. But Gen
Yeah,
Con
for those
is
of you
a
that don't know,
commitment
we're
in Los
we're
Angeles.
in Los Angeles.
But Gen Con is this awesome experience because it's so hands-on and you're doing board games. And a board game is a very social event, so you get to socialize with so many strangers and make all of these friends, which is very cool for a con because Comic-Con, as we've gone, is a very cold con. You end up going to a lot of panels. You're sitting next to these people, but you don't really strike up conversations with them. For the most part, you can meet a couple friends, but at Gen Con, like every lobby of the hotels become these massive board game parties. They take over the
Nice.
area where the breakfast, continental breakfast is, and it's just everyone buys
I
games.
just picture all these old people on vacation coming downstairs.
And they're
It's
just
like,
so
"Oh, my."
confused. Yeah, what is going on? And so everyone
guys
buys
playing
games on the show
Monopoly?
floor. Everyone buys games on the show floor, and they just bust them out. And so there's all these pickup games, and they're like, "Oh, we need another person for our whatever. You want to jump in?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure." So you end up meeting all these people. You can
Man.
buy all these games that aren't out yet.
I'm gonna
They come
become
out
caffeine addicted when I go, so that
Absolutely.
I don't have to sleep for
Well,
96 hours.
Rob, you and Russ didn't sleep like a night or something.
we got 5 hours, 4 hours a night, like not that much sleep because you have to get
you
out.
spend all night playing
Games.
games.
Yeah, having too much fun.
You're having way too much fun. And then then you can buy these event tickets. You can enter tournaments for games. Any game that exists, there's a tournament for it. And then you can also jump into RPG sessions. So like Shadowrun or D&D, you can buy a
Pathfinder
ticket.
Society.
Pathfinder Society, you jump into an RPG session with a pre-existing character. You bring them, or you can get a pre-gen from them and just meet a bunch of people and jump in with them.
That's cool. That's way cool.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
So yeah, we are trying to be there. We know some of us
we're
are going to be there.
Well, we're gonna be
We're
there.
D6 is going to be at Gen Con this year.
Yeah.
So we'll be keeping you posted about that, and if you're going, let us know. We'd love to meet you guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely schedule a meetup somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys know where, but definitely just a chance to meet you guys and play some games
Yeah.
maybe. It'd be cool.
Hopefully we can find a cool way to travel there.
Okay, so this is where this discussion started last night. The flights are $350 a pop out of
Or
Los
more.
Angeles,
Like,
or more.
that's a damn
that's
good
the
deal.
lowest.
Yeah.
So $350 to $500 out of Los Angeles. But it would be a lot less to road trip.
Road trip.
So now we're thinking about D6 road trip. 1 or 2 vehicles. Except maybe, and this is a big maybe.
It started getting slippery.
D6 bus,
The slope. We were like, all these ideas we're throwing around.
This is
D6
really, this is like the dream, but I mean, we'll share the dream. The dream is that we D6 Mafia bus it with our personal D6M converted school bus.
We were looking on eBay at how much a school bus would cost,
They're
and it's
$3,000.
actually pretty low.
So if you're interested in supporting the D6 Mafia and you want to see us at Gen Con, send us a big fat check for a brand new school bus.
Or just give us a school bus.
Or give us a school bus.
Yeah, or give us if you're listening and you have a school bus, tell us. We will take it off your hands
Does it have to be a
for a
school
reasonable
bus?
price.
Or an extra school bus.
It can be.
Can't it be like one of like those old people transport.
Well, we're looking
Can we
at
do
those too.
shuttles?
It
Yeah,
can
like
be
a
a
shuttle.
Any
Airport
sort
shuttle.
of large transport that we can modify
It can
and
be
put a
a
gaming
double
table in.
stretch Hummer limo.
Whoa, that's bad gas.
Whoa. I don't know if we can get 1 mile to the gallon.
Yeah.
Hey, you think
I
we're doing much better in a bus?
Like 12.
But no, yeah, if we do the school bus, we can rip out half those seats, put mattresses down, tables, mini fridge. Like this would be like a tour.
My idea was we
could
could
live on the
transport D6 gaming table on the D6 bus.
Yeah, we put it through the back emergency exit. Take the legs off, put them back on.
And you get the emergency
Yeah.
exit T-shirt cannon on the top.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
top T-shirt
We want a
cannon,
t-shirt
D6
cannon.
shirts.
Yeah, I'm okay with this as long as we have a turret on the top of like
Yeah.
through like one of the emergency exits.
It's a t-shirt turret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The
a
other
Gatling
requirement
gun.
I have is that whatever we get, it has one of those cool fold-out stop signs
Oh my god.
to let people know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when we stop,
Everyone stops.
stops.
we should change it to say something else though. Like
Yeah,
not
it
stop.
could just be like
Game on, dude.
Party on, dude.
roll
Game
or
on.
game
Yeah.
on or.
Party on.
Roll for initiative.
I'm worried
Or it could just like, well, wait, they're shaped like a.
It should have got
Like
octagon.
a
D6.
You could just be like, you could just say 20.
If we painted the lines on to make it
yeah.
look more like a D6,
It could
that'd
look
be
like a
rad.
D6.
Or
a
D20.
D20,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be D20.
Yeah, you could just like every time it pops out, it's like crit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
God, this has to happen.
D6 bus, man. If we don't do it this year, we are definitely saving up for next year.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
So
definitely
help us
don't-
out. We want to buy a bus, and we want to.
Or be given-
We want to come
we-
visit you. We want to come
We want
play
to
games with
we
you
want to be
wherever
given a
you are
bus
in our bus.
or a shuttle.
You buy us a bus, we'll come play games
Maybe
with
that's
you
maybe
in your
that's
living room.
like just one day a week we just take the whole bus and pack it full of people and crash one person's house.
Yes.
Like Bill Murray style.
Yeah, no, we just it's like
And we bring our board games.
it's like rent a friend.
Yes.
It's like they rent a
Yeah.
D6 and we come there and
We don't even need to stay in your place. We'll have sleeping
The
quarters
bus?
in our bus,
Absolutely.
but
So,
we'll come and hang
the
out
impact
with
on your
you.
life will be minimal.
We bring the party.
Besides
we
the party will
we're
be
like
bought.
the big party bus.
Yeah.
Except for nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
except for a stripper pole, we have a game table.
Can we sell a stripper pole though?
We can talk about that later.
Okay.
We're not alcohol. We can still have alcohol, right?
Oh, it'll be fully stocked.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Just make
Not
sure.
while we're driving.
Well,
Well,
Josh
I
will
mean,
drive.
yeah.
Except for the driver.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know about what kind of bus drivers you guys had growing up, but I feel like alcohol's required.
Oh my god.
So yes,
if
we're
not
going to Gen
one-
Con. Come see us at Gen Con. We'll be giving more information about that as it gets closer.
Do we know how long it takes to drive to Indianapolis?
30 hours.
30 hours.
Yeah.
We'll be
Well,
making 2 stops along the way.
Three
And
stops
we'll have
along
stops
the way.
around the way.
If we took a week to drive there, we could stop at some places and have
We're
like
talking
a little
about stopping
vacation.
in
Basically.
Vegas,
Yeah.
Denver.
Denver.
I'm just worried about timing because some of us have
Jobs.
jobs.
Well, we need to take some time off, or we could plan it. Maybe do 3 days on the front end, 2 days on the back end.
Yeah,
Travel.
we're still
Yeah.
figuring out
It'd be like
It's
2
early.
weeks or so. Yeah, we
Been
can have
2 weeks.
the logistics of it
But
all.
if we get a bus, we can just sleep on the bus. We don't have to worry about hotels.
Exactly. No
That's true.
hotel.
Yeah.
It's true, but I still want to stop in Vegas and Denver on the way.
Yeah.
I've never been to Denver.
I haven't either.
Denver's amazing.
It'd be my folks' place. Free board.
Nice.
Well, free meal. We can sleep in
Free
the
meal,
bus.
free board. Good times.
I'm down.
Yeah. It'd be
And then
great, man.
Vegas and
I
Kansas
want
City
this
are the
to
two
happen.
good
Kansas
mitzvah.
City.
$3 grand. That's amazing.
$3 grand.
And we can like go and buy like magnetic games and stuff so we can play games on the bus. But
Why not?
They,
Of
We'll have
course.
Table. We'll have table.
They
Sure,
may,
that-
we'll
It will
get my
be-
magnetic one. So if Josh takes a
It's
really
a-
bad turn, we're like,
The best part about this road trip is that we'd also be filming all sorts of fun stuff.
As we go.
I think
As we
we'll,
go on the
yeah, I
trip.
think, this
Yeah.
I
We'd
think we'll
make
do
a
a D6
documentary.
doc.
Yeah,
D6
it'll be like a
documentary.
mini documentary with maybe even some like threshold goes on the road. Like,
Yeah.
see what we can do. So if you're interested in that, let us know.
And
Maybe-
like the original idea was to do a travel show, and if we had this bus, we
Yeah.
could literally do this travel show.
We have lots of great ideas.
Yeah. going to the nerdiest places in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, arcades and all kinds of cool.
Yeah, so
cool
start
spots.
telling us about the cool places in your area, and maybe someday.
D6 bus will come rolling through.
All right.
Is that
What's
that
next?
was
Yeah, let's roll again.
All right,
See what we got.
I can't
Man,
roll
that
anything.
is it a
That
weighted
6 is
die?
hot,
All
man.
right, number 5. Number 5 is a fun and
Favorite
very
of
dear category to our hearts. We're talking Mexican food.
Oh yeah.
Basically, like
Wait, specifically,
Mexican
I
food
thought
is
the topic-
comprised of the same stuff essentially.
It's the exact same ingredients,
Exact same ingredients.
combined in
What-
different
beans,
ways.
cheese, meat, tortilla,
That's
Lettuce,
the genius
maybe,
of Taco
yeah.
Bell's menu.
lettuce, rice.
So
really
what is
any-
the best form in which these food products come together?
Burrito.
Burrito.
I think
Burrito. It's a self-contained meal that you can carry in one hand.
It's just a lot of mass. I just imagine that in your stomach, like a whole burrito. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the taco.
the taco is a good submission.
Yeah, but it's messy. It's
classic.
open to the world. A breeze could blow the lettuce off your taco.
Taco breeze.
Yeah, it's not
It's
contained.
like a
Taco
band.
breeze.
It's like a
Yeah,
band.
I understand it's not contained, but sometimes a burrito's too much.
It doesn't have that
The burrito
tortilla.
is
But a
never
couple
too much.
tacos is just right.
And there's a lot
No.
of rice filler in a burrito to me.
Yeah, that's my problem with
Except
burritos.
for
There's
there's-
a lot of filler sometimes,
Yeah.
and not only that, but I don't know what it is about the
Well,
burritos.
it's
I get
soft
in
ta-
most places.
soft tacos or hard
When you roll
tacos?
it, it's like
Hard tacos.
it's almost like you
We're
have to
talking
like
hard
hold
tacos?
it a certain way, or you're not going to get everything in every bite.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's true.
that's true.
It's true.
You know.
Well, yeah. If you go to I'm thinking Chipotle burrito is definitely like everything's well mixed. Whereas like a Taco Bell burrito, it's like squirt here, squirt here, squirt here, and then like you're either biting into the nacho cheese.
Oh, yeah,
you're biting
God,
into
God
the
forbid you get the dreaded sour cream bite.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one likes
Yeah,
the Taco
you-
Bell
if
sour
you're-
cream.
Well,
bite.
okay, I love
Wait,
it.
like
actually,
two-
I
I
love
can
the
eat
sour cream.
spoonfuls of sour cream, but
Yes.
when I'm eating a burrito, I don't want that. I want everything
too
in
much.
one.
I like
bite.
I
Like a sushi
love
roll.
burritos, but I think for the general purpose of the conversation, I think tacos are good because of the carpet of the modular size of them. You can choose to have one taco or you can choose to have 8 tacos.
Yes.
You're not locked into having the big burrito.
Yeah, yeah. And you can mix and match those
And
tacos.
you can mix and match those tacos.
Shrimp
Yeah, you
tacos.
could
I
have-
don't know. Have you
you could
seen a
have
Taco Bell
chicken
burrito?
taco,
Those things aren't even
taco.
burritos. I mean, at that point, then fine. Then I put forth chimichanga is the
Ooh.
perfectly sized
I feel okay. I feel like the
Or-
chimichanga is like some
Americanized.
big fat American
Oh, okay.
person was just
Well,
like,
it's
you
a
know what? I want a
deep-fried
burrito,
burrito.
but I want it fried.
Yeah, exactly. Can you fry that?
Well, it's like saying that. It's like saying the taquito is like a
Yeah.
viable.
Or like the chalupa?
The Taco Bell burrito is closer to a meat toothpaste tube.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's toothpaste.
You bite
Well,
off
it's
the
like
You
top.
kind of roll it.
Yeah.
You
just
bite off the
kinda-
top and you squeeze the bottom and you suck the paste out. And then you
Meat
discard
paste.
the exoskeleton tortilla.
you don't eat the tortilla.
Interesting.
No, I do, but I mean, at that point.
You just brought back a strange memory. I think I remember there was a toothpaste when I was a kid that was like a kid's like flavored toothpaste that
flavored.
I may have
It's like
eaten
bubble
like
gum.
that
Yeah.
at one point. Yeah, I think it was like bubblegum flavor. It was like an Aquafresh Kids or something.
Yeah, Taco Bell is not Mexican food.
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
But it does use the same recipe scheme in that they're able to take the 6 ingredients
I think
and
it's
make
still
20
very
different menu items.
delicious.
Oh, I
There's-
love it. It
yeah.
is. It's gross good.
Yeah.
It is
It
gross
is
good.
disgusting.
Well, I don't know.
It's the best dog food I've ever eaten.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the worst
Yeah,
of ways.
I ask for fingers and sawdust in my Taco Bell every time.
It's like I think it, like their filler is actually oats.
Oats?
It's
Like,
just oats. They grind
just
they,
pure grain.
They
It's
grind
like
the meat with the oats.
The Jack in
and
the
that's
Box
filler.
tacos. I think it's like mostly like a tofu.
I thought the Jack in the Box.
The
Yeah.
Jack in the Box tacos are actually like a vegetarian option.
Yeah, it's like a soy.
because it's soy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so strange, but they're so yummy.
And
For
they're
99
two
cents,
for-
you get
two
2
for a dollar.
tacos. Not even Taco Bell can do that.
Well,
Del
no.
Taco
Del Taco can do
Del
can
Taco
doc-
can do a
lot
Taco
of things.
Tuesday. You can get 3 tacos. I've
Okay,
I've seen a
Two
man.
tacos
If
for a dollar.
if we're really gonna break it down, I'd rather have Del Taco than Taco Bell.
See,
Absolutely.
here's my breakdown for Taco Bell versus Del Taco. 1 to 3 beers, I want Taco Bell. 3+ beers, Del Taco.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because you don't care about what you pay for. Because
The-
I think
Del
Del
Taco's
Taco
all
is
about
10% more flavor for 10% more price.
Fair enough.
You know, I think I prefer Taco Bell. I think it tastes better, but Del Taco has they've got a couple of these menu items that are like they're like the deluxe menu items that come in foil wrappers and stuff, and they're actually pretty decent.
The Nachos Del Grande.
No, they do the street tacos at Del
Carbon.
Taco.
Yeah.
And I
those
actually
are
kind of like
pretty
Taco
good,
Bell's
actually.
Fresca menu. You guys tried the Fresca menu from Taco Bell?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the
Fresco menu was not
freaking
too bad.
grit bowls were gross.
True. But like you get like
I pretty much just get Doritos tacos.
Doritos Locos Tacos is like a whole other monster.
Yeah.
And they're meeting.
Can they make it in a Cool Ranch? I'm just wondering
They
that.
do have Cool Ranch.
They have Cool Ranch?
I know,
You can
I'm just-
choose between them.
Yeah,
The
you
Cool
can
Ranch
Cool
and
Ranch,
nacho cheese.
you can nacho cheese, or
You
you
can
can
fiery.
get the
Fiery,
Fiery
man.
is so
Vol-
good.
wait. The volcano taco. I want that
I
back.
want Doritos tacos, and then I want to squirt like Mountain Dew Baja Blast sauce on top of it. That's what I want.
Let's talk about good Mexican.
Yeah, let's talk about
Exactly.
real Mexican.
Also, living in Los Angeles, which has access to some of the best Mexican food
some
ever.
good-
Yes.
Well, no,
Good food
see,
here.
I had a huge issue because I had a teacher who was from Texas, and I was like, "Hey, how's the Mexican food in Texas compared to like?"
That's Tex-Mex.
Yeah, but he didn't call us. But he did like the same thing for like L.A. Mexican food. He was like, "Oh, it's just like L.A. food. Like it's not. It's like L.A. Mexican food is not real Mexican food.
There's
It's Texas.
authentic
It was really
Mexican food that you can get in anywhere in the Southwest United States, including here, including Texas. That is just good food.
It's just
All
good
right.
food.
I got a place.
Good
and
real
I
food.
absolutely loved. I can't even remember the name right now, but I would always get the chorizo burrito, and the bottom half of it was orange. Because
Just
it
all
been-
the sauce.
Because
all that
Yes.
chorizo juice,
Just dripping down.
like I wasn't able to eat it once
that's the best.
because my girlfriend at the time was like, "No, you can't have that; it's way too fatty." And I was like,
We're
I
breaking
like
up and
cried.
eating it.
Hooked up with her right then, right?
I was like
done.
crying,
I
and
choose
I brought it out.
chorizo.
I brought it out and like cut it in half in my
cross section.
Yeah, I
count-
cut it in
count
half
the rings?
in the kitchen, and then I ate the other half, and then like pretended to throw it away, and then I ate, and then I brought it. I was like,
okay, I'm gonna throw this away. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Stuffing your face.
Tacos Donchente. That was the name of the
Tacos
place.
Donchente?
It's a
Dude,
chain,
also these
and it's like
taco
semi-ventriloquial.
Taco
trucks.
trucks.
Everywhere.
Bar none, the best
Amazing.
tacos you'll get here.
Amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best burritos I've ever had was when I was living in Germany, and we spent like a month in Germany where there's no Mexican joints. The Mexican equivalent is like Turkish food because they don't have Mexicans over there. But there was one, but there was one place that sold burritos in Hamburg. So like all of us Americans made like special trip after class one day to go to Hamburg to get burritos. And my God, it was one of the best burritos I've ever had in my life.
Really?
It's
It was just normal
it's a
fare?
normal burrito, but we were so like
Starved.
we were
Craving.
It's
we were
one of
so
those-
homesick, and we were
Yeah.
so
I
like
just
wanting
want a
that.
burrito.
Yep.
We just wanted a burrito
Yep.
so bad. It was
That-
so good.
that-
Can I try a burrito? Bratwurst?
Yeah. Oh, hello. Here we have a knockwurst.
Sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut.
Can I just have a regular burrito? Do you have like chicken? or
Sauerkraut.
carne asada?
No.
No, you they make this burrito with the strudel.
Strudel burrito. I have a place nearby me. It's like within walking distance of my apartment, and they have a great happy hour, and the food is so good. Like
What's the name?
It's called La Candelas,
Lockendells. Okay.
and it's like $2 tacos, $5 for a plate of like 6 taquitos with a ton of guacamole, or $5 for a huge plate of nachos that is like impossible to finish, plus like really cheap margaritas during the happy hour. Happy hour is every day from 5 to 7. It's so good and so good on the wallet.
I'm putting another one forth. There's this place, the small mom and pop place in Santa Cruz. It was called Tacos Madre. Now it's called Tacos Padre.
Did Madre die?
Yeah, I don't know. I
What
hope
happened
not.
to Madre?
I have no idea.
They got a
They got
divorce.
Yeah, the divorce and
Yeah,
Padre got
Now they
the-
have 2 locations.
No, that's yeah, but they do like $1.25 at most for a taco, and they use every part of the pig. So we're talking like I've had tongue, I've had lengua, I've had pig brain.
Well, I mean,
I've
do
had...
you get to pick that, or they just
Yeah.
throw
No,
it
no,
in
no,
just
no,
like a
no,
grab
no.
bag?
You,
Like,
if
we
you
use
knew,
every part. Have fun.
yeah,
They just grind them up.
Yeah.
Put a pig in a wood chipper.
you see a giant pig.
Grapple taco.
No. You choose if you want lengua, and
Oh,
there's a
okay.
couple of my friends like they only eat lengua tacos, and
Yeah, that's good
freaking it's just
If
pickled
you
pig
guys
tongue.
are in Santa Monica, on the west side, right off of Santa Monica, and we're on, I think, Cloverfield, or maybe like 26 or something, is a place, it's a small hole in the wall called Tacos Punta Cabras. And they have some good, authentic tacos. They're simple, and they just sell them by the taco, But,
that's the way to do it.
That's a pretty solid place.
You know, J.J. Abrams' Cloverfield is actually named after that show.
Yeah.
That's where their offices are. That's where Bad Robot is.
We should
based.
move on.
Yeah.
All right.
We're also talking about a lot of places a lot of people probably can't go to. So we apologize. We just love Mexican food.
Just reminiscing about our favorite joints.
That's the way it works over here.
Dose.
All right, we are talking about Shadowrun.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Shadowrun is absolutely by far my favorite RPG universe. It is so well built and structured, and there's this like treasure trove of great ideas.
Tell us about what Shadowrun is about.
So Shadowrun is a kind of a dystopian future cyberpunk RPG setting, and it's a very old setting, harkening back to the 1980s when it first came about, kind of in the whole RPG wave after Dungeons and Dragons, became its own behemoth. But in the world of Shadowrun, it is, and it also takes place in our own world, which is really cool. It's kind of like this future that started happening, in the I think it starts around the 2050s, and then basically there's androids and giant megacorps, very Blade Runner or Alien feeling. These corporations have kind of taken over the world. But what's really cool about Shadowrun's world is that it's not just a sci-fi RPG. They actually deal with magic in a really cool way. So the whole idea is that magic ebbs and flows throughout, time as the world goes on. So it's back in the day in medieval times, that was when magic was ebbing and there were dragons and all the medieval fantasy that exists in Dungeons and Dragons. But then magic started to recede and go away. Then we had our own modern time. Now that it hits the year 2012, the whole kind of Mayan calendar thing happens, and magic comes back with a vengeance. And
Very
so
cool.
They explain, all of a sudden, all the earth starts cracking, and these dragons erupt from the earth, and they've awoken from their 1,000-year slumber, and but then into this future cyberpunk Blade Runner kind of a world. And also all these humans have this latent genetic mutations in them, and they start to, over a couple of generations, develop into orcs and trolls and elves, which they call meta humanity, and dwarves. They all start coming through. It's such a cool universe because it is this 1980s dark, dingy kind of heist kind of a thing.
Runner-y.
Blade Runner, where you're you have hackers, and you can be what are called deckers. You can hack in. You can go into the Matrix, which is this cyber world. Very Neuromancer, very much inspired by that, which inspired all of the cyberpunk. There's no classes, which is really cool. You can kind of build whatever character you want. If you played Star Wars Galaxies back in the day, it's kind of like that. You just have a big pool of experience, and you can just pick from every skill that is available, and you can kind of build whatever you want. There are kind of archetypes in a way. So there's Street Samurai, which is swords and machine guns and pistols running around. There's the what's he called, the Technomancer, which is kind of, you're going into the Matrix with, it's kind of like Neo in the third Matrix, where you don't need a machine or a computer to go on the internet, kind of a thing. You're the ultimate Uber internet user. And then what's the other the tech guy?
Deckers?
Not Deckers. Riggers. Riggers are all about drones and technology. They're kind of like engineers, sentry guns and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Super cool. So the world also, so there's these giant megacorps, and each of them has their own personality in that world. And there's the Ares Corporation, which is it's an American corporation all about weapons and manufacturing. There's As Technology, which is a Mexican company. But anyway, so they all have their own personalities, and a lot of them, the dragons are super smart, and so they end up taking over a lot of these megacorps, and they're the CEOs of these corporations, which is really amazing. So you imagine they're at the top of this giant pyramid skyscraper, just sitting behind a dragon desk, pulling the strings, and all these shadow games that are happening. And anyway, it's a wonderful world. The system is a little intense. There's rules to do everything.
It's really intense. We played that one game when Russ DM'd, and it's just just getting into it was so intimidating, because they're basically here's all these resources. Read the entire book and kind of pick what you want. And they don't really give you any sort of what's good, what's bad, what do you want?
How do I spec towards something?
The whole game is the deep end of the pool, and you are jumping in head first.
Yeah, and it's hey, everything costs $2,000, and you have $1 million. Good luck, hey, and you can't keep any of it because you don't get something.
We kind of found that we had too much money on character creation. It was kind of weird.
I think the trick to that, and Rob and I actually want to want to
run a game
and co-world build. It all started with stemming from Threshold, wanting to find a game that is more technology based in its foundation, but it's also really heavy. It's all based on D6 rolls.
It is all D6. You kind of build a dice pool, and then you roll your dice, and 5s or 6s are successes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an Eldritch or Arkham kind of.
Absolutely.
So the more I read about the guide, though, the more it sounds like maybe running it like how Steven runs Threshold in a looser fashion that is more oriented on story than the
I don't think you can do that with Shadowrun though, because Shadowrun is so numbers heavy with all the stress boxes and all that kind of stuff that it'd be really hard to do like in a narrative way.
It's kind of Edge of the Empire-y. I would say that Edge of the Empire is a very simplified version of Shadowrun in a way, where you're kind of just plus and minusing yourself, and it's like, this shit's really hard. Like, okay, so the way that you build your roll is you have like your stat plus whatever. I think that's like 2 stats basically.
It's always two. Yeah, it's
like
always your
int
stat
and
plus
whatever.
and this.
So you build a dice pool. So say like, okay, I'm really good at guns. I'm gonna use my gun skill with my dex skill. And so you add those 2 numbers together. That's your dice pool. And then as the DM would say, okay, I'm gonna make an opposed pool for you. You roll both of those pools, and maybe the DM might say, this is a hard shot you're trying to make. I'm gonna take a couple dice away from you, kind of a thing. You just roll those d6s. You count the 5s and 6s. Compare, so it's just like Edge of the Empire is kind of that plus or minus system, and then as long as you have a positive at the end of the math that's happening.
Also, there's I don't know if it's new for 5th edition Shadowrun, but if you have a certain number of dice, you can just automatically, per DM discretion, you can just automatically pass or fail certain tests.
You can kind of like auto default.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's every per 4 dice counts as a pass point. And so if you have a rack of dice, you can just say, like, using general odds that you're going to make the pass. There's no need to roll it. So I think, once we get in the roll of things and get a game going, things will start to streamline.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think, it could be something that's quite as,
involved.
Episodic and story heavy as, the way Threshold works. But I think it could still be a lot of fun to play, and you could still create your own story with that.
Easily, there's a lot of room for story building.
Yeah.
My favorite part about the whole system is that in D&D, you have your game time where you're fighting a monster, you're in initiative, and that's when Dungeons and Dragons, the game, happens. Then you go to the town and you have your roleplay session, which is kind of another game in and of itself. You're not really rolling a lot of die while you're role-playing in the town. But what's cool
that's
about...
the bread and butter of these games, It's about...
It is.
I know that some people lean towards, combat, while others lean towards, the story building. But, it's like, you can't have one without the other. As soon as you take away one too much,
What's cool about Shadowrun, though, is that the game kind of extends into the roleplay, where there's a lot of rules for tinkering with the world outside of combat, which I really like. So, for example, at Gen Con, we played a Shadowrun game, and that's when I really saw Shadowrun in action. And there was this Decker character, a hacker, he was a dungeon master playing as a player, and was just crushing it as this Decker, doing some crazy stuff. And so, we were in this classic tavern situation where we were in a bar. We were meeting our contact, and he was telling us, what was our mission. Here's how much money I'm going to pay you if you do this kind of story hook. But then this girl overheard. She was kind of eavesdropping. And so, normally you could just kind of role play with her and be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why are you listening to us? But the Decker actually started making rolls, and he hacked in because, everyone, the entire world is so technology based. Everyone has a phone. All of your information is out there. It's like Facebook, in the future.
Sure.
So he hacked into her phone, and he found an incriminate. He wanted to intimidate her, but rather than just making it an intimidate check, he hacked into her phone and found an incriminating picture of her and an orc, together, kind of a thing. And he actually put that picture on every video screen, that was available in the bar. Yeah. And just there's stuff like that. You can touch every part of the world in the game, and you can interact with everything, which is really cool.
See, I think that's my major problem with the game, is because, we're talking about how limitations set you free. Because Shadowrun, literally you can interact with anything in the world. I found when I played, I was like, I don't know what to do because I can do everything.
I think that comes down to having a good game master, like somebody that knows how to keep things flowing the right direction, keep things moving, and also setting limitations. Like in that type of world where it's just like if you're in like a bar or whatever, it's like, okay, well I try to do that. Oh, well that's not there. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to take too much away from them, but you don't want. It sounds like Shadowrun's the kind of game where you could get really involved in the meta and like trying to come up with loopholes and ways around things, which is fun to an extent, but you also don't want to like break the game.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's some really cool stuff you can do in combat, which I liked, which is original. Like everyone has cyber eyes a lot of times, or like all the guns are computerized, so you can like actually hack into their eyes and turn them off and stuff like that. So it's a kind of a cool way to like mez someone or blind them, but you're literally
That
just like,
cool.
or like make a million pop-ups appear on their, like give them their eyes a virus and that kind of cool stuff. So I don't know, it's a big playground basically, and so you kind of have to shift your mindset a little bit that I get to play in this
Very
world.
sandboxy.
Very sandboxy.
Right, and I think that's just like the challenge of whoever's running the game is how much of how big do you want to make that sandbox?
Exactly. So yeah, you can kind of you could run a game very much like D&D if you wanted to, or try to make it very different from
make
D&D.
it totally wide open.
So, but yeah, I love the idea of how different it is, and it's a cool way, which we'll try to explore when we do our campaign.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Hopefully we get some. We're talking about doing Shadow, and we're also talking about doing an Edge of the Empire game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
At least some mini series of those.
Probably, just to get some more content out there. We want more games
stuff going. We also are taking to heart the games you guys suggested to us when we did the live stream. So
definitely.
We really want to do some Call of Cthulhu, and I think Steven would even be up for.
Steven is chomping at the bit to do Call of Cthulhu.
So I think you'd like to do that. We've already got a wall of
dead characters.
And
one who's lost in space and time.
And so we hope to continue that and add to that wall.
I think he's just delayed. He ran into the desert and he.
Oh no, he's in the future.
In the future,
yeah. He's like 4 years in the future.
So he's just
future New York. He's just chilling in New York in the future.
That's okay.
Just waiting for everyone to get
there. Yeah.
Steven likes to time dead himself in Call of Cthulhu.
Exactly. Yeah. I was hoping there'd be like some weird cross shit or something. I was excited about that, but.
So yeah, hopefully we get some more of those games going. We need to get some more games going.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, last thing we got here on the list, no need to roll for, is some more SpaceX talk.
Yes,
more SpaceX talk.
Privatized
space.
Rob wasn't here when we did the pilot, and we were the two that were up until 8 a.m. watching the previous SpaceX twice actually.
It was for Orion.
That's right, Orion, and then. Oh no, we didn't. It was just Orion. You're right. Yeah. So it was the Orion launch. That was a month or so back.
A huge milestone.
But we're the big space dudes. But anyhow, so this week, SpaceX. I think the 27th, just yesterday, the day before yesterday. SpaceX posted a new video. It's a visual, like a 3D. Render of their new Falcon Heavy launch system, which is going to be the biggest and heaviest of the SpaceX vehicles. Their goal is to bring people to Mars in some 20 years or so. And awesome. The cool bit about this rocket is that the majority of it lands itself after it is used. Each piece of it. So the two boosters. They boost the rocket, they break off, and then they turn back around, they retro burn, and they land back somewhere in Texas around the equator or whatever. And then the center stage does the same, and you're really only sending the payload to space. Most of the rocket is totally reusable.
Yeah, so like a normal rocket, as things break away, they run out of fuel, they want to jettison that weight, and then it would usually just fall back.
Sort of becomes garbage.
Burn up in the atmosphere, fall into the ocean, essentially, little bits.
Right.
So this is a fully reusable rocket that would make spaceflight way cheaper, for sure. Because you don't have to build a whole new rocket.
Biggest wall in front of space.
It costs so much. And with this system, you would pay... You'd have to carry more fuel with you in order to spend the fuel to land your stages, but fuel's a lot cheaper than rebuilding rockets. So
absolutely,
that's a pretty ballsy statement to throw out there, but they're gunning for it.
And this is a bigger rocket than their Titan 4?
This is their. It's not bigger than Titan 4.
Okay.
That's Orion's launch system. I think the SLS.
Okay.
But this guy, I think, will compete with the. I want to say the. What was it that launched Orion? The Atlas 4 Heavy.
Was it Atlas or Titan? It was Atlas. I think you're right.
It was the Atlas 4 Heavy. It's big.
Yeah.
It's fucking big. It's like 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. So.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Brian's looking at me
rocketry.
I don't
know
any of this kind of stuff.
But anyway, it's super cool. They did a test of their other rocket, which you can find online, which is pretty crazy. But they actually hit this launch pad, a floating launch pad. That first stage actually did by itself come back to land and then tipped over right at the last second and exploded.
That's pretty crazy.
But
we talked about that.
by hitting the pad, that's a huge
that's
achievement
remarkable.
in and of itself. And they're going to tweak it and.
I just love the image of like, yeah, we did it.
No, and it's exactly what happened. Like the last second, it just falls over, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Well, what caused it to explode?
I don't really know what happened.
It is the hydraulic.
Yeah, we talked about this on last episode. It ran out of hydraulic fluid to control the. It's got hypersonic fins, like stabilizers, kind of up top, and it doesn't use a closed loop hydraulic system. It uses an open loop. So every time the piston pumps in and out, it dumps the hydraulic fluid out to ditch the weight.
And so they just didn't have
So they just ran out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so when it went to like right itself, it couldn't. And
It could.
Like, I'm sorry.
I
failed you. Oh, I am so bad.
But good times in space. We're coming about a new era in private spaceflight.
Which is cool because NASA needs a little help, man.
I think just more like the governments of the world are.
They're kind of chilling out a little bit. They're not putting as much money in as they used to be.
It's Cold War II.
So okay, here we go. But Josh and I always talk about what needs to happen to the world, and that a Cold War II could be very good for the economy and for the space program.
At least for space.
Yeah.
Like during Cold War II, we're going to pump a lot of money into military and space.
And space.
Whether those are good things.
Yeah. But yeah, which probably do with China, I would assume.
Well,
Yeah,
you just want as I've said, you want the sexy Cold War from the.
I guess
the 80s.
You know what? Instead of Cold War II, it's Space Race 2. That'd be better.
That would be
Yeah,
good.
we don't want
Space Race.
Space Race 2.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the bet. Like we need to have terrorists on Mars because like we would get there so fast.
Dude, it goes full circle back to our conversation about cultures, man.
Yeah,
We do need to get our ass to Mars.
exactly.
I think
Get your
I
ass to
think that
Mars.
would be one of the big things. Like it'd be kind of like the next Sputnik, where it'd be like, oh my god, this is happening in space. Everybody else needs to be doing this too. Like,
But like, what event would that be? Like, we need something. It has to be kind of scary, something to like basically force us to get into space.
Maybe, or maybe it's that the
Which Sputnik was.
people companies start to realize that there are $100 billion in platinum flying around in asteroids, and it only costs $50 billion to harness them.
Yeah.
How
So-
prolific is the Chinese space division?
They're getting there. They're
Are they in that?
yeah. Them and India are kind of neck and neck in terms of developing
place,
their
third place,
space
second
programs. I think they've both
Third
gone
place.
out and said like they've planned missions to the moon, they've planned missions to Mars, and they're trying to kind of creep ahead of each other for the first big third world, second world, I guess, country to make it to the moon or somewhere significant.
Yeah.
But they're coming along. I think like, if there was Space Race 2, it'd be U.S., Europe, Russia, China, India.
Yeah.
That's Space
the
Race
big,
2.
The big players.
and then North Korea has a
North
cute
Korea
little rocket.
Yeah, they're futzing away. Yeah,
It's powered on dictatorship and supremacy
It's like a V2 or something.
Yeah.
and nuclear power.
It's like driving
Yeah.
like a Segway
Well,
up to a
it-
drag race.
Honestly, instead of liquid fuel, it just uses James Franco DVDs that
Yeah.
they burn.
They just like throw them.
they burn at a
in.
hable temperature than liquid fuel.
Yeah.
So they propel more mass per.
Yeah.
Yeah.
per
And
It's
higher
well,
heat.
and
They
mass,
also-
mass is measured in Rogans.
those DVDs produce such hot air that it just propels it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
one
I was gonna
Franco,
say,
one
that and it
Franco
gets
can
your-
propel 6 Rogans.
Gives you 6 Rogans worth of thrust.
Exactly.
Yeah, it runs on
I was
hype.
gonna say
On hype alone.
the burning DVDs also gets you extremely high. That's just what
Yeah, I mean that's the side effect. That's why
Yeah.
most North Korea is kind of.
It's necessary though.
Yeah.
You know, for
And
sure.
on that
Wait,
note,
but how many
That's
Rogan? Wait, I need
Have
to
you
know
guys
how
seen
many.
the interview?
I've not actually seen it
I
yet.
finally watched it yesterday.
Is it? How is it?
I thought it was hilarious.
Really?
It's
Okay.
funny.
It's,
No,
it's,
is it on
it's
Netflix
exactly
yet?
what you expect.
It's coming out on Netflix, right?
Alright.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, I
yeah,
gotta watch
yeah.
it.
Oh.
I just need to know one quick question. How many Francos is a Rodman?
A Rodman or Rogan?
They're equal.
No, a Rodman.
They're
A
equal.
Rodman.
Rodman.
A Franco
Like
and a
Dennis
Rodman are equal?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
'cause
think-
Rodman's over there hanging out, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many
That-
Francos
that's
makes up
he-
a Rodman.
James Franco's character in that movie is basically based on like the relationship that Dennis Rodman has with.
Yeah, they're
Kim
like
Jong-un.
best friends.
Yeah,
Which is weird.
and it's actually I have to admit the scenes that are just James Franco and the guy that plays Kim Jong Un are fantastic. They're the
They're
best
really
part of the movie.
So do you think
The
casting?
guy, I can't remember.
He's pretty
his name.
handsome. The guy, like, he's a little too sexy, I think, as Kim Jong Un.
Played- well, he put on a lot of weight for the role.
Okay.
but he's got like a lot of work now. He's got his own show right now.
Yeah, off
he?
the boat. Yeah, he's the guy from
Oh,
Off
that's
the
him?
Boat.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he's really great. He's hilarious.
That's right.
He's so funny in this movie.
I'm
And
gonna check him out.
actually, you know what? I go as far as to say that I recommend seeing that movie just for the sheer like silliness
Historical.
of
Well,
it.
I think, yeah, for any sort of historic value, I think it's worth
Sure.
a watch. That's why I watched it.
It's not nearly as bad as people make
No,
it.
and
to be.
that's what I thought. If I thought that, I think that if it just kind of came out regularly, like it should have, and just kind of hit a mediocre mark and just kind of put it out, that would have been fine. But because of this
Yeah,
whole thing,
this
it
movie
was-
could
it
have
was-
absolutely released.
it was blown way out of proportion.
Yeah.
His name is Randall Park.
Randall Park.
Randall Park.
Yeah.
And
Good
he's
job, Randall Park.
fantastic.
Yeah, good job. Good job on you. D6 Mafia.
Supports
we
Randall
support, we
Park.
support
Seal of
Randall
approval.
Park in all of his endeavors.
He's in Boom Shakalaka. That's the guy from Boom
Yeah, he is.
It is the leading guy from
He's also Asian Jim on The Office.
He
Wait,
is Asian.
He's
Jim.
actually in Boom Shakalaka?
He's
That's
the Asian
him?
guy in Boom
He's the
Shakalaka.
Asian guy. in
That's
Boom
it.
Shakalaka.
I know.
Yeah.
I just blew your
Wow.
world.
You just rocked my world.
And I don't know. I'm guessing he put on a little weight for the role.
I think he
or,
did.
We had to.
You know, either there's
Right?
some really good makeup,
That's true, they can do that.
but he definitely looks like he put on some weight
Yeah.
for the role. He looks good. He does a great job.
Man.
So yeah, with that, I think we should wrap this up. Thank you for listening. This has been Let's Roll, the D6 Mafia podcast. If you'd like to find us elsewhere, you can check out Threshold. That releases every Monday on YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come and join the Threshold fun. It's easy to catch up, sort of. We have a lot of episodes going, but you can jump in whenever. It's fun.
They're easy to binge.
Yeah, they are easy to binge. And, they're great to just listen to. We're working right now, right, Rob?
Yep.
To get them all in podcast
I think
form.
the first 6 are up right now on is it what d6mafia.podbean.com?
Yes.
Podomatic.
No,
it's
Podbean.
No, it's Podbean.
We're Podbean.
We changed to Podbean.
Oh, we changed?
Yeah, Podbean was just better and sexier.
Oh, okay.
It was a little cheaper and you get unlimited bandwidth basically.
Okay, so we're on Podbean.
We're on Podbean. Yeah. D6
We are
Mafia.
nowhere sponsored by Podbean. We just use their site.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where we host the...
Soon to be on iTunes, but yeah, I think the
we'll
first
have those up on
couple are
iTunes,
up.
so you can find those on your phones and iDevices.
That way it's easy to listen in the car and it'll catch up.
So we're making those easy to... This podcast will also be
Just
on there
right
as
there.
well.
Exactly.
Someday.
If you want to find us on Twitter, you can find me at Mr._Patrick Allen. You can find Brian at Bannis Gameworks. You can find Josh at Hawkborn with an E at the end there. You can find Rob at Robert Gilpin, and you can find Casey at the One Cal L.
Nerd.
Superman nerd.
Superman's dad. Draw.
Hey, my question is, if Superman flew around your Twitter at supersonic speeds, would you turn it back and go back in time?
Would you lose followers?
Would you lose
I
followers?
probably would lose followers. Actually,
Oh my goodness.
it would go back to non-existence actually, because
Okay.
if you set my Twitter back a week, I wouldn't have one.
All right. Well, anyways, also follow our main Twitter at D6 Mafia. We are trying to stay up to date as much as possible on there. And this Sunday we should be live streaming the Super Bowl, Super Smash, Super Tournament. So be sure to tune in for that.
Super Sunday.
Okay. As always, thank you for listening.